My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wowee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4062. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my car. And you are in the Men's Room. Our chat today is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: America's favorite beers and stressed out states. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Tim. Clack, clack. Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go on second thought. Maybe rollerblading might be fun to take up again. Meanwhile, in Texas, we're having a happy hour at a retirement home is apparently a sin. A drunk couple causes a United flight to be diverted to Maine. Police bust in to arrest a man while duking and draining the vein. And TikTokers record themselves breaking and entering into a new arena and destroying the place. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, for the Ted Smith, it was an oyster and an ice cube. For Ted's mother, it was a garlic knot. And for Miles Montgomery, it's late-night peanut butter runs. I'm talking, of course, about things they've damn near choked to death on while eating. And it happens to the best of us from time to time, and it's always scary. Just ask the 55-year-old man in Singapore who went to the hospital when he started struggling to breathe. Well, it turns out he was choking on the octopus that he'd eaten earlier. And they knew this because when they peeked into his mouth, there were tentacles protruding from his esophagus. On a quick side note, if you need any nightmare fuel, Google a picture of that image. You will sleep differently. Anyway, like I said, people get things stuck in their throats all the time, but I think I've actually found the solution should it happen to you. All you need is a seagull. That's right, the bird that you see at the beach, good old-fashioned seagull. A woman in Scotland had just stepped out of a store, popped a Lindor chocolate in her mouth. An instant later, a seagull, not only did it attack her, it stole the food out of her mouth. Let me repeat this. The food was in her mouth, and the bird, not one for personal space, snatched it out of there. So again, if you're choking out food, run to the beach, open your mouth. The seagulls will take care of it for you. And let that be a reminder, kids, chew with your mouth closed. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Reaching your financial goals is so much easier with Millibank. With our customizable jars, put your money directly towards your saving goals, keeping them in sight and on track. Plus, with our highly competitive annual percentage yield with no fees or minimums, your money will grow faster with complete transparency. So whether it's a much-needed vacation, a passion project, or building an emergency fund, save more for the things that matter most with Millibank. Get started by visiting millie.bank or download the Millie app today.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but tell us away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4062. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat on this so balmy Monday.
Balmy.
Yes. Exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Our categories, we have America's favorite beers.
All right.
If you're listening to Friday's program, you know that we launched a brand new beer with Black Raven Brewery. It is Men's Room IPA. We are hoping that this becomes the nation's fastest selling beer.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be everywhere.
It's only available in Washington, but we are convinced.
Yeah, if you buy enough of it, we get a shot.
Come on, Washington.
Maybe we can crack the top 50. You never know. But either way, we got the 10 beers that America likes the most. I went ahead and pulled up the whole 20 of the top beers from last year.
All right. I assume this is based on sales, or was it like a survey of taste?
Basically, a little bit of both.
Okay. All right.
Whether it was a popular beer that people enjoyed, whether they drank it, and the amount of sales involved.
Okay.
Some of these, I cannot believe were on the list. Others, yeah, you got your guarantees on there, but either way.
Right. I mean, there's a few I know will be there. One, and I will not say the name, I'm sure it will come up later. I just find it unbelievable that people genuinely like this beer. I know it sells well, but to me it tells me it's just because it's available and you really want beer.
Yep. Well, you got to remember 2023 was an interesting year for beer as far as domestic sales are concerned, with a lot of different factors.
Because of Bud Light?
Bud Light's the
Bud Light went down a ton.
They were the old number one beer.
Right.
In America. Not anymore. Just so you know, they're not in the top 20. Believe it or not.
Really?
No.
Damn.
No, they don't even crack the top 20. Then we have for you the 10 most stressed out states in America. A wellness brand just released a ranking of the most and least stressed states in America based on 16 factors that are grouped into 4 categories: your money stress, your work stress, your health stress, your family stress. So we have the 10 most stressed out states, and then we have the 10 least stressed states as well. So you can go wherever you want there. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so that's a little strategery here.
Wow, very nice, very nice.
Let's get more of those, Mike.
Agreed. Your guess is as good as mine is coming up. So we're going to talk a little beer today. We're going to talk a lot of beer, by the way, in the upcoming weeks, as we've got a live broadcast at the Black Raven Brewery and Tap House in Woodinville on Friday, March the 15th. So we are going to do our show live from 2 to 6. If you haven't been able to find the Men's Room IPA yet, or you just want to hang out with us and share the day, it's another stop on the Men's Room World Tour. By the way,
technically this would be our first stop of the year, right?
It is the first stop of the year.
Like we are touring again.
But what a facility they have in Woodinville.
It's a great facility.
It's an incredible bar, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to announce as far as what's going on in the day. But most part, we're going to do our show from 2 till 6. Hopefully you get a chance to get up there and enjoy the Men's Room IPA, a Black Raven, by the way, many beers that I truly enjoy. So you can taste whatever fits your palate. You know what I mean? Try one of our beers.
Black Raven has a lot of delicious beers.
They've got some fantastic beers. So we are proud and ever so happy to be partnered up with Black Raven.
Yes,
Brewery.
indeed.
This has been something that they've been working on behind the scenes for a long time. Those guys have been working nonstop, almost seemingly around the clock, cranking out enough beer to get just the initial batch out there.
It is an insane amount of beer they had to come up with.
They did not know.
They came up with a certain amount, right? Because you have a prediction about things. And because I was talking to them last Friday, and they said, well, we have all these charts and, PowerPoint presentations, all the crap that people hate sitting through at meetings. Mm-hmm. But you get a general figure and a general idea of how much inventory that you need to create. And so they created that. And then word got out, and they said Safeway. Safeway was the first person, quote unquote, to step up. They said, we'll take everything you've got. And Black Raven's like, well, no. What we're saying is like, we've produced this much. Safeway said, we're hearing what you're saying. Mm-hmm. We will take everything you've got. So they had to start reproducing more beers, which was a great thing. Yeah. They actually, and this is no joke. So we went to the facility, it was last Tuesday, I believe. And they have a brand new 140,000 gallon tank.
I don't know.
I don't remember, but it's
huge.
It's a massive tank. And they already have a major high class facility. And then there's this new monster one. And as they're showing us around, one of the guys pointed out, he said, you see that tank there with the numbers on it? It's the only way you could really differentiate. I go, yeah. He goes, we got that about a week ago. I'm like, well, that's cool. He goes, to commit to production of your beer. We still need to do our other beers, but they had to. So with their initial estimate, Safeway came in and said, cool, give it to us. So I want to say they said they'd up their production, and this is insane to me, at least 500%. And somewhere upwards of 750%.
Right. And keep in mind, although it's an IPA, maybe IPA is not your style of beer. It is one of the smoothest, easy drinking,
it's
light, delicious IPAs.
Even the ABV is down.
Crisp.
They said they want to do an IPA that people could drink more than 2 of without falling out of a bar stool.
And they did that.
They definitely did that. And I know this because I put that theory to the test this weekend.
Okay.
And drank a lot of it.
All right.
And did not fall over.
You brought up Safeway. If you're looking for the beer initially, Safeway is a good place to start. It is going to be introduced to more locations, more bars and restaurants around the area as it grows. Keep in mind, we're continuing our partnership with the Fisher House and the 3 local Fisher Houses in the area. If you buy the beer, man, Fisher House is a national organization, and they do an amazing job across the country. But this beer, along with our sausage and our salsa, benefits the 3 local houses. Mm-hmm. When we started 15 years ago, there were only 2 in the area. I believe there was one in Madigan, there was one at JBL Lim, and that was it. Now they've got a third that is located, and the idea behind the Fisher House is to help military families and veterans who have loved ones who are going to spend maybe more than just a week or so in the hospital. Even if whatever it is, families get the opportunity to come into town from wherever they're from, and be there to support their loved one while they go through whatever it is that they need to go through.
That it ain't good.
And VA hospitals, there's only so many of them. So, like, a lot of people will go, they got to be there for weeks, months.
Right.
And you'd have family members literally sleeping in the parking lot.
Yeah,
At Fisher House, you can go next door. You can stay in the house.
And the houses are nice. This does not look like some crappy dorm, which, honest to God, is what I thought we would see when we went there, and we rolled in. I'm like, this is like a 4-star hotel.
It gives them a comfortable environment to be able to relax. Hey, look, there's enough stuff going on in everybody's life at that point, if you were put in that situation.
Yeah.
So to make their lives a little easier, that's what the Fisher House is all about. So keep in mind, anytime you buy the Men's Room IPA, that's where a portion of the proceeds are going. And we really, truly believe that this year will be a banner year as far as what we can do.
I hope so.
We
want to take out Denzel Washington. I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, he's a pretty big contributor.
Top donor. He's their top donor. He's already Denzel. Yeah. You're good looking. You're well known. All this crap. Let us beat you in something.
But you guys drinking the beer, you've already raised over $1 million for the Fisher Houses. Yeah. So that's a big deal. So if you happen to see the beer, do us a favor. Shoot us an email. It's the men's room at KISW.com. If you know a local mom and pop grocer, and they carry the beer, shoot us an email. We're going to give every single location that we can as much love as possible and make sure that people know if they're in that area that's place where they can go and pick up the beer.
By the way, Bo, who runs Black Raven, he just emailed in and said, I'll buy more tanks. Drink up.
Okay.
So that's,
all right,
that's cool.
And thank you guys for coming in, you and Mike and everybody else on Friday's show, though, to announce the new partnership. And, man, I'm telling you what, even over the weekend, it was crazy. I had more people ask me about the beer. How does it taste? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I could go buy it.
Just try it.
Go buy it. If you see it, go buy it. Pick it up. It's a 6-pack. I don't really like IPAs. You're going to like this beer.
Just
no matter
give
what
it
you
a
like.
try.
I drink Pilsners. I like this beer. So.
Well, one guy said, I remember the text came in Friday. He goes, anyone who's negative, they're always going to show up first. But he's like, an IPA, what is this, early 2000s? And I thought to myself, and I didn't bother to respond, like, don't buy it if you don't want to drink it. It ain't going to hurt my feelings. We're just saying, if you do like beer, check it out. One, I did not know the beer was fashionable. But also, I'm like, should we do a Pilsner created in the 1300s? Is that more current?
Right.
What's the problem?
Just try the beer.
Yeah, Jesus, God.
Just go out and enjoy it. And you're not going to miss it. It's in a bright yellow can.
Yeah, the packaging's great. So you can. Oh, by the way, now I'm not saying that when I had to take my daughter to Comic-Con yesterday. Now I'm not saying that I have taken advantage of our bright yellow stickers and placed them in various places throughout the city since I had to do a little bit of traveling around. But if you see some of our stickers say outdoors attached to buildings and other things, I don't know how they got there.
Yeah, you don't know how they got there.
I don't know
cameras
how they got
everywhere.
There. That's what my wife told me. My wife said, hey,
come on, man.
Don't do that. They have cameras everywhere. I said, babe, A, I don't care. B, I'm going to do it anyway. And that's exactly what I did. And then a friend of mine sent her photographic evidence of the stickers being placed. Various looks. But here's the thing I discovered about the sticker that I didn't realize initially. All right, so it mimics the can. It's a bright yellow sticker, black text, and then there's some red and graphic, and it's got the raven on there. One of the places I put them, there are some, I guess, general safety guidelines for how to deal with something. They have the exact same yellow with the exact same black text, and then the things that are important in red. So I put the sticker, somebody put the sticker there right next to it. At first, you wouldn't even know that it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
I'm just saying, I thought, that is a win-win.
Strategy.
So with that in mind, yes, my strategy is unfolding.
And just so you know, if you've been following the
and
program...
Lime Scooter, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sticking my damn scooters because people ride them all over the city. Right? They're parked in front of the building. I even told Mike, I'm like, dude, there's scooters parked out there. And look, if they get mad, get mad. I truly do not care. But it's a little sticker. But as they travel throughout the city, maybe it encourages more people.
Sure. And
I don't think they care. I don't think, because the other things on your are like vomit stains and graffiti. This is the nicest thing that can go on the Lime Scooter. That's the budget we have for advertising.
And not lost in all this, but if you follow the story about the beer and in the charities and all that through the history for the 15 years or whatever, Uli's world famous sausages. He basically made us an initial sausage, which included the Men's Room Red. And the sausage was fantastic. It was one of the best sausages.
Awesome.
Uli, again, this is another local Pacific Northwest person who makes an incredibly good local quality product. Now, with the new beer, Uli basically said, I will make you a new sausage.
That's almost exactly how it
there's a different beer going in that sausage. So now we have the introduction as well of Men's Room beer brats, which I have not had one yet. I am looking forward to this. I love beer brats. His German brats are amazing. Everything that Uli makes,
is great.
It's great. So I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Because that's how I make it.
Yeah, he makes it with and
he's never angry. That is literally just how he talks.
Exactly. So we're looking forward.
I am in a great mood
to that as well.
Let us party. Oh, and big news to us anyway. Mike, you were not here for this, but we got confirmation Friday that it will be available at T-Mobile Park. Yeah. So when we sit side by side to watch the Mariners and Orioles play, which inevitably be a great game, the beer will be there. That's cool. That is awesome.
Yeah, and a whole lot of new locations, and as soon as we get them all, we'll let you know. And again, we're looking for your help as well. So if you happen to see the beer out there, just shoot us an email to the men's room at KISW.com, and we'll give you as much love and mention as possible so everyone else can go out there and find the new stuff. So that is the plan. The men's room at KISW.com.
I don't read one last email that came in regards to the Fisher House. And this kind of puts into perspective. It says, a year ago, I had a father on his deathbed, and I flew into Dallas with little money and nowhere to stay except a seedy motel nearby the Dallas VA. Not a lot of options near there. Anyway, thankfully, there was a Fisher House as I needed to stay for 4 weeks. It says 4-star hotel indeed, food, laundry, comfy, huge rooms. Best people there today. I toast you and your beer. Fisher House is a place near and dear to my heart. That's exactly what that is.
And there are so many people who've been touched by that place that have come up and just told their individual stories. And it is an amazing organization. And thanks to Ted's dad and everyone else for bringing it to our attention. And we've been with that charity.
From the jump.
For basically the entire time that we've been doing the
because
program.
he had worked with some other organizations, and when I asked him, he was like, "Oh, the Fisher House is the best."
And
but they don't get as much money. They're always like, look, unfortunately, there's other charities. They all get rated. Fisher House is always top of that list. Like the money you give them is going back to those houses and those
directly.
families.
Yeah, absolutely. And they get a little stipend from Congress, but it's not nearly enough. And believe it or not, and this blew our mind, is just based on the beer sales alone, at least here in Washington, the money from our beer, we contributed more to the Fisher House than Congress does.
Well, enough so that they didn't have to supply a budget necessarily to the 3 local Fisher Houses here at that time, because they were able to take that money, build other locations, just use it in a different place because you guys drinking the beer, you took care of a lot of that budget that they needed. So, man, I'm telling you what, this year, I think it's going to be a lot easier for them to get their job done. It's going to be a lot easier
I hope so, dude.
To give more money to them. And beside all that, though, man, I'm telling you right now, Black Raven's been around since 2009. If you listen to Friday's show, one of the first beers that I was introduced to was when Jason came over with a bottle of, or VD as you know him, of Kitty Cat Blues, which is a
and I actually remember you
vanilla blueberry explosion of flavor in your mouth.
I did not try, but I when you guys were talking about that Friday, I'm like,
catnip.
I remember Miles coming in, going on and on and on about this blueberry flavored beer. I just wasn't sold because fruit and beer is not my thing. Look, I swear to God, dude, you love it. And you know Miles talk. So lots of expletives, but clearly a very positive review of this beer.
And if you like a Pilsner, man, they have one of the best. I had more people come up to me and say, man, I can't wait to try your beer because I just love Black Raven's beer. I'm a Trickster fan, or I'm a Pilsner fan.
Trickster's
and all the different IPAs that they do. And this is a great addition to that lineup. It is the easiest drinking IPA that I've ever had in my life. Matter of fact, when I tasted it for the first time, because like anything else, IPA is not necessarily the main thing I drink. I'll drink whatever once in a while. I'll go and get a Bodie or whatever. But at the same point in time, I'll typically, like I said, go for a Pilsner. When I tasted this, I could not believe at 5.8% that was an IPA based on the fact of how clean the beer is.
I would not have known it was an IPA
if you told me.
In fact, they might even be lying because honestly, I'm a big IPA drinker. And it does not strike me as an IPA, right? No, dude, it's an IPA. We were very specific about how we chose to do it so the people that don't think they like IPAs can enjoy it. By the way, here's a question. So we need to get on Ryan Castle about this, okay? Ryan Castle did us a lot of good and managed to print up some T-shirts, very limited number, for Friday specifically. So the brewer guys come in, they get some shirts, we got some shirts. Are we going to be able to buy those shirts you guys wore in those pics from Friday? I believe we might be able to swing that and get some more printed up by then. I know we're going to push Castle to get that done.
People compliment on your shirt at Comic-Con.
Okay, so a funny thing at Comic-Con, just a quick side note. I do not dress up for Comic-Con. My daughter does. Who was she? No idea, but people recognize her, made her.
They did recognize her, the character that she was.
Dude, everybody there recognizes her. Like, I can't explain how excited people get. Certain moments, she's like, ooh, and her and her friends take off. And there's me and a couple other dads trailing behind them. And I'm like, I don't even know what they're excited about, but yes, baby, here's $45 to buy 3 keychains of these characters that mean so much to you. That's basically how the day plays out. But I'm wearing the Black Raven shirt, but just understand the front of the shirt is just the logo. So it doesn't say men's room or anything on it. That's all on the back. So it's a black shirt, got the red double head, and then the Raven's head. So my jacket is open, and as I'm walking through, this is crazy, all right? So I did not give this much thought, but like 12 different people over a period of 6 hours stopped me to go, man, I've seen you walk by like 3 times. Me and my wife are trying to figure out, like, what character are you? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I
think they were just looking at how you're dressed in general.
Because it looks like a superhero logo, right? I'm like,
it's bright yellow.
So I said, no, I was wearing the black one. Oh, so I said, the bright yellow one probably would have done more, but I said, man, it's a beer. Then I'd pull down my shirt and let them see the back. And they're like, oh, all right, cool, man. But yeah, a lot of people, it was only weird when a little kid, not little, maybe 9. Mm-hmm. Who is that? Like, it's not a super, I like to drink beer, kid, and this is the beer that I'm promoting.
I'm the Black Raven.
I am. Why didn't I just say that?
Wasn't it Christopher Titus that came in Ted and said, you look like a human cartoon character?
No, he said, you look like a wise turtle. Those were VD.
FYI, since you guys are so on top of everything,
that's what we're known for.
Your new T-shirt for Black Raven is already in the Rock Shop.
Hey, so go to the Rock Shop and try to
KISW.com.
It is the Rock Shop. How about that?
You're welcome.
It probably came in the email I got.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Mike.
You should have forwarded that to me, Ted. I could have got the information.
My bad.
Yeah. More of the random question coming up 206-803-ROCK.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This episode is brought to you by Allianz Travel Insurance. If you're the type of traveler who leaves everything to the last minute, then annual travel insurance was made for you. Buy your plan today, and you're covered for every trip you take in the next 365 days. Enjoy peace of mind knowing you're protected, whether you're heading out for a weekend getaway or an international vacation. Get the travel protection trusted by more than 70 million American travelers. Get a quote at AllianzTravelInsurance.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question time. 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. The random question. Okay. Let's go with this one. This might be a tough question to answer, but you're going to have to do a little bit of thinking, but as long as you're close.
You suggesting the Mike is stupid and can't do a little bit of thinking?
I'm just saying I think this is a hard question for anybody.
I'm not trying to make me feel bad or whatever.
So, if you were to take all of the food that you have eaten in your life, all right, and you stick it out there and you look at portions and how much you've eaten of what would you say is the food that you have eaten more of in your entire lifetime than any other? What has been the staple that you tried and true? You're pretty sure from a volume standpoint, you've had more of this than any other type of food.
So the only reason why I'm actually able to answer this so fast is so when I was 16, sophomore year of high school, an entire summer, every single week, I ordered Domino's pizza. So for one food, I would have to say pizza. Because I'd basically pizza every week for a whole summer and then like a month into the school year as a sophomore.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I kind of thought pizza at first, right? And then reality set in, and I go, even if I ate pizza 2 or 3 times a week, and that has not been consistent throughout my life, while pizza is definitely within the top 5 of things I've just consumed the most of, I'm going to guess for me personally, probably peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because it's one of the few foods I've liked since childhood, continued to like it as an adult. It's a great stoner food. Right. I get stoned. So I think that would be my biggest portion. It would start with wheat bread and then miraculously go to delicious white bread.
I'd say pasta. Because I grew up on it. I still enjoy it. I made some last night. At least have it at least once a week. But when I was a kid, man.
Yeah. I was just thinking chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken wings, chicken breasts.
You can also have dessert pizza.
Okay, you can throw a dessert pizza in there.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this, though. All right, as far as chicken, is that something that you had a lot of as a kid as well? Because even with pizza, my parents, and there wasn't a lot of home delivery back then. Domino's was the groundbreaker, so you had like Pizza Hut. But I mean, like, we had to earn the right to go to Pizza Hut. So even if you got it once a month, it just wasn't what I ate the most of.
Right, because I thought pizza, but I'm with you. Like, you don't eat it.
You don't eat it every day.
Right, if I said, like, top takeout food, but I just like chicken in all its forms.
In every form.
Right, like whether you're eating nuggets as a kid or, like I said, like chicken breast.
Fried chicken,
chicken wings.
Is it Skip Bayless, Ted, that is only eating, like, he eats, like, chicken and broccoli and rice? Or
he eats like that, right? He eats some plain meal that he's been eating for, like, however many years. That's all he eats.
Well, and do eggs count as chicken? I mean, I know they don't, but look, I made myself a breakfast burrito this morning and I had eggs and we had some leftover pulled chicken. And I put it in there, and the name I came up with is not something you'd probably want to use in a restaurant, but I'm just looking at it and I go, this is like cradle to the grave breakfast burrito. Mm-hmm. You know, pre-chicken to dead chicken, all of it mixed together with some hot sauce and cheese, by the way. It was delicious.
That does sound good. Strange thing with broadcasters, another broadcaster, Al Michaels. Not that big of a deal that he doesn't eat vegetables, but I'm pretty sure he's just a steak and potatoes guy.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. That's it. And he's open, like, I don't want to try new things.
Or whatever. I mean, it's not like it.
What about you, Mike? I mean, for a while there, I'd have to put ramen noodles in there because for a long time after moving out, ate them plenty at the parents' house. But then when you move out and you're dead broke, it's one of the very few affordable staples, and because you don't want to starve to death, that was 3 meals a day, every day, for years. You'd mix it with different stuff, but inevitably, ramen noodles.
$6 for $1 sometimes.
What's
I
the
saw
official,
9 for $1 once, man. That was...
What's the official verbiage of the question here?
Just basically, volume-wise, what food do you think you've eaten more of in your life than any other? Pasta.
It is pasta.
Okay, I'm right.
My wife and I love pasta, and it's easy, it's cheap. You can do 100 different things with it. Whether you want a red sauce, whether you want like the lemon garlic sauce that we got going on, you know, the she makes an oil-based sauce out of it. It's just you can't ever go wrong with pasta.
And then the older you get, you know, if you have kids and stuff, it's just as far as having a meal that most of the time chicken is affordable and all that
or
stuff.
pizza.
So pasta still goes in.
All right,
well, how about volume? What about just chips?
It's not like we eat
a chip.
Yeah, right. Nobody eats a chip and then finishes a sandwich. So it's not that you eat chips all the time, but when you do eat chips, you eat them by volume, based on what we perceive to be volume.
On that world, I would probably say chocolate bars, like Reese Cups. As far as the dessert world, I'm more of a chocolate guy. So
dessert donuts,
snack
without
food.
a doubt. Because I can turn down, like my kids, you know, they go for Halloween, they come home, they offer you all kinds of different candy. I can turn it down. If you have donuts, I will eat the donuts. Some other people make some good cases here. Cereal. So 7 days a week, 15 to 18 years. They're not always the same cereal, but just
cereal.
Cereal in general. I think a lot of us would have that. And potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, potato, right.
Because you don't think all the French fries
going back
ate.
to chips, French fries, tater tots.
Right, hash browns.
It's always there no matter what you get as your main. Typically, if you're at a bar.
Somehow a potato will back it
It's
up.
just volume of number
in
of
there.
them. Like outside of eating a baked potato, like generally if you're eating a potato product,
You don't
there's
think
multiples.
potato.
And if you look at it from the aspect, if you think of bread as part of pizza or rolls or sandwiches and all those things, just in that one category, I think bread is going to be one of the things.
Bread has got to be
more of than
bread and
realize.
cereal might be the two top. Bread, potato, cereal. Yeah, I would think for most people probably be the top 3.
So the reason we asked what food have you eaten more than any other? U.S. man has extended his record for the most McDonald's Big Macs eaten in a lifetime. He is now over more than 34,000 Big Macs.
I read this.
You've heard of this guy. His name is Don Gorski. We brought him up way back in the day when he broke it again. He first gained the Guinness World Records title in 1999 and has now extended his record after eating 728 more Big Macs in 2023 alone, according to the record-keeping company. Now, he used to consume how many Big Macs daily, would you guess? 3. Try 9. But now he's
that's not a scale back.
He's scaled back now. He cuts it down to two, one for lunch and one for dinner. So he's at 2 a day.
All right.
Now, in order to maintain his health, he says he does not eat French fries, and he walks 6 miles a day.
That adds up.
That helps, sure.
Many people thought I'd be dead by now, but instead I've been a record holder for my 24th year, one of Guinness World Records' longest-running record holders, so that's pretty cool to me. He said that despite eating the burgers for over 50 years, he still relishes each one. People who have watched me eat a Big Mac often comment that I look like I'm eating one for the very first time, he said. He is a retired prison official in Wisconsin. He ate his first Big Mac in 1972. He said he immediately knew how much he liked them. In that moment, I said, I'm going to probably eat these for the rest of my life. But I threw the cartons in the back seat, and then I started counting them from day one.
I mean, look, there's food you try and go, oh, my God, I've never had this. I'm going to eat this.
But you also say, I would eat this every day for the rest of my life. And no one takes you seriously, including yourself, because you don't actually mean I'm going to eat this every day for the rest of my life.
I had a number of options on Saturday night, and I ended up with a Big Mac fries and a vanilla milkshake.
But you're at McDonald's. I mean, it's like if you go to McDonald's, you're going to get the thing that you always get from McDonald's.
I can remember being a kid. My brother was working at Olive Garden. The first time I had gnocchi, I was like, I would eat this all the time.
The rest of my life.
I can't remember the last time I had it. You know what I mean? I was like, when I'm an adult, this is all I'm going to eat.
But I bet you the last time you had it, you loved it.
Sure. But yeah, this guy was like, screw it, I'm eating it.
So believe it or not, he's kept the receipts and containers of every burger he's ever eaten. Again, the containers and the receipts. So you know this is in boxes and boxes and boxes. So after he gained media attention for his burger consumption, inmates at the prison he worked at would mock him relentlessly with verbal abuse. Inmates, guards, everyone, they knew that's Mr. Big Mac right there.
Mr. Big Mac.
And it was nonstop, he said. However, his fellow prison guards, they supported his love for McDonald's, and they would sneak in Big Macs for him when he would work double shifts so he can get his food. He said he used to go to the fast food chain every day, but since retiring, here's what he does. He buys Big Macs twice a week in batches. So he eats a fresh one at the restaurant, then takes the rest home to microwave when he's hungry.
My God,
He said that he's a creature of habit, doesn't eat much more other than Big Macs. Aside from a small evening snack, we'll have some ice cream, a fruit bar, potato chips. Big Mac with 2 all-beef patties and 3 pieces of bread contains 590 calories. Health experts warn that eating too much fast food is not good for your health.
I've never heard that before. Thank you, experts.
But obviously, at 70 years old,
he's offsetting it. Walking 6 miles a day.
He walks 6 miles a day, doesn't eat the fries. I'm sure he consumes water. It's still crazy, but at least he does some other things. Although, for your question, Miles, let's see, Sarah in Shelton says bread. There are many evenings where I just have a little something on toast. Like, if that's your go-to, then you're a bread fiend, and I hope this guy's lying. I don't know. It says, for me, liver and onions
is what he's eating the most of.
That is their claim.
Well, if you like it, you like it. I mean, you like what you like. I just can't take the smell of it or the taste.
But is it like
or the texture?
But here's the thing. I love liver and onions, okay? Where do I go to get it? If you love burgers,
you make it at home.
That's what I mean. If we're going to go out for dinner, but like I want liver and onions, like I don't know the restaurant to take.
It's one of those places. It's like meatloaf. There might be one place that's got it, like Hattie's
some old diner or something. Right?
But for the most part, if you know you're making meatloaf, you're making meatloaf at home.
But the only thing about liver and onions, if I own a restaurant, it's not that I'm against making it for you, but we can't just keep things in the walk-in forever. Things go bad.
Not only that, but you're going to smell up the entire restaurant. And nobody wants to smell that. It's more about the odor.
Nobody wants to smell it. You're not wrong.
No, they don't. It's terrible.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Cheyenne, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's see what we got for you. All right, Cheyenne, since you've got an imagination, we'll give you this one. Who do you think would win a fight, since we were talking about a 70-year-old man who was in the Guinness Book of World Records for eating the most Big Macs, between a 70-year-old or a 13-year-old? So a 70-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Are they just average 70 and 13?
They're going to go after it. Somehow or another, they've gotten into an altercation, and the S is going to go down. Who wins the fight? 70-year-old or 13?
Sorry, I would have to go with the 70-year-old.
You would? Okay.
Yes, I would.
Based on what? Like age experience as far as your knowledge of how to fight? Or just the fact that you think you're probably going to be bigger, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's a cold world out there, and that man has learned that for 70 years, so, like, I wouldn't put anything past him, biting, scratching, anything.
Poke your eyes out.
All right.
So you're saying he's just trying to make it quick. I think the 13-year-old, you obviously have the advantage of speed, probably stamina, but I do believe 9 times out of 10, and I don't know the average 13-year-old now, but you're also showing off a little bit when you fight. Right? And I think that's where your weakness shows. Under the 7-year-old guy, it's just looking to take you out and take you down. Part of the reason I'm going to go 70-year-old, and honestly, I just base it on my dad, and that was 14 years ago, but when he was 70, I think he'd have beaten the living hell out of a 13-year-old.
Also,
but I don't know if that's
Cheyenne,
true of all 7-year-olds.
I don't know if you keep tabs on Seattle news, and maybe it's just because I don't really focus on a lot of other cities' major problems in their news because I typically just read what's going on here unless it gets to the national level. But there's an unusual high percentage of teenagers in this area who are up to no good, who are stealing cars, who are Kia Boys.
That is everywhere.
So it's every city. So it's
every city. If you have teenagers, you have this problem. I guarantee it.
Driving cars through pot shops, getting their weed, all those things. So, when I think of a 13 or a teenager anymore, a couple guys stole a police car last week. But I just think 13-year-old is still a little bit more grown up than you remember it.
But teenager also is 13 through 19.
Correct.
And so you got to think about a 16, 17-year-old, like my friend's kid, is 13. It still looks like a small child.
You're a child. And the other thing is,
but it's like 16, 17, especially for boys, they're going to start getting most of them will start getting a little bigger, their shoulders.
For sure. You see that. And also, 13-year-olds travel in packs. So if you're saying one-on-one, I think 7-year-old wins. If you can bring up 4 13-year-olds, they're going to take them out. Right?
All right.
But I think one-on-one, I don't think they stand a chance.
Okay. Well, they say no matter how America votes this fall, let's face it, we're going to elect the leader of the free world, who was born in the 1940s. As they say, they may have the nuclear launch codes, but more importantly than that, would they be able to win a fight against a 13-year-old? So someone posted this question online: who's going to win the fight, a 70-year-old or a 13-year-old? 65% believe the 13-year-old would take the fight. Okay. 65%. Of course, it depends which 13-year-old you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And which 70-year-old. And it's 2024. A lot of 70-year-old men and women aren't pushovers these days. So even with this was like a video game duel, they're saying that the seniors are pretty good at that as well.
But I also think a lot of it is 13-year-olds post a lot of things to video, so you see them doing aggressive things, and then you fall under the assumption that it's some level they're badass. There's not, dude. We'd mop the floor with your ass. But when you put out videos of fighting and all that, there might be a lot of violence, a lot of the stupid testosterone you have at that age. Mm-hmm. But I think when the rubber meets the road, you're broken. And you're Well, Ted and I asked that question years ago. How many 6-year-olds do you think they have an endless supply of 6-year-olds, all right? And they're running into a room just one by one, unless they fill up the whole room. But how many do you think you could get through before they finally take you down? Because we acknowledge, at some point, you're going to run out of gas.
Numbers.
And they do things like bite you, you know what I mean? But And we came up with different ways to deal with the first couple. What did I grab the first one by the ankles and start swinging them like a baseball bat? Right?
That's a theory.
You're breaking heads, but because you can take them, but at some point there's just too many. It's like
I'm taking the 7-year-old. Might even hit him with a cane.
Yeah, they've had it. Yeah, Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola. Matt, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Would have you or did you almost choke to death on?
That's actually happened not too long ago. I was eating pizza. It was like the first time I tried this pizza place in Everett. It's amazing, by the way. It's called the Monte's Pizza. It reminds me of the Greek pizza places from on the East Coast. But anyways,
there's a few of those around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I choked on. It was had some really good cheese, thick mozzarella cheese on it. And I just I don't know what happened, but I it was the first and only time I actually thought I was choking, legitimately. But luckily, coincidentally, I was just talking about what happens if you choke and stuff because my dad was going through some stuff with physical therapy after he had a stroke. And they said, if you ever start choking, to just calm down and breathe through your nose. And then, then you can, gather yourself. And that's what I did.
Okay.
And
it seems like the theory of all things is, hey, man, when you think your life might end, when you're convinced you're about to meet your maker and everything, your life flashing before your eyes, man, just chill out. Just chill out.
The one thing that...
And I know the right. I'm just saying it's hard to remember not to panic because panic is not something you volunteer to do. Volunteer to stay calm. Panic is something your body floods you full of adrenaline and you just panic.
18, 19 years old, had an apartment with ice cube trays.
Yeah.
So, but they all formed their own little iceberg in the bottom of the glass. So as I'm trying to just knock
and they all
back,
kind of melt together.
Yeah. So I'm banging it. As soon as I throw it back down, one of the bigger cubes went down my throat and just stopped there. And I'm like, And if you're in that position, it's also hard to try to breathe out your nose. Like, try to cut off your windpipe. Yeah. And then breathe through your nose. It's not the easiest thing. So I sat there for a minute, and I could feel it slowly melting, but it wasn't going that fast. And I was like, this is not good. This is not good at all. Finally, it just kind of popped down and went all the way down. I was like, oh, but it was freezing my esophagus the entire time.
It wasn't one of those slow, painful descents into your
gut.
gut.
Giving you a heartburn. And like, oh, God, I'm going to die.
I told you guys I almost choked to death on a doggone hot dog at a PBR event.
Oh, that's the one I was at?
No, I was there with my brother-in-law. We were sitting there, we were watching the show, and I had a hot dog. They had great hot dogs at the Tacoma Dome, by the way. So I'm nomming on this thing, and I get to that point where I can either take an embarrassingly small bite that's with the amount that's left, or man up and shove it in, right? So I do that. But the thing is that there's still juice in these doggone things, so I bite down on it, and it just sears the inside of my mouth. So I freak out, and I just swallow the doggone thing, and it hits about halfway and just stops. Now, I keep trying to force swallow it. It's not happening. I try to cough. I can't get air in. Usually I can breathe through my nose. I can mentally calm myself to the point where I can do that. Couldn't happen this time. So now I kind of half laugh like I'm not going to go out choking on a doggone hot dog. Right. Luckily I got my brother-in-law right by me, and the action is away from me. So I'm behind him. Nobody knows that I'm going through this right now, except for everybody here around me on this side that can see that I'm clearly having an episode. So I finally I grabbed the tray that it was in, and this is my last ditch effort, and I just kind of basically hurl this thing back into the bucket that it's got, and I shove it underneath my chair, and I still haven't told him to this day that I did.
He never knew?
No, he never knew. He was there, and I was weighing the options. He was going to be my last ditch effort because I didn't want him to freak out and have to do the Heimlich, but
I want you to freak out and do the Heimlich.
This wasn't like a hot dog with a bunch of stuff. It's just a plain-ass hot dog. It's not like I'm covered in chili or...
No, it's just a hot dog.
Just a regular old...
Oh, yeah. It was just a big one. It's like one of those, it's one of the big sausages. Yeah.
A quarter-pound dog. What did you almost choke on? A man struggling to swallow headed to the hospital for answers, and doctors told him he had an octopus lodged in his esophagus. Oh! The half-eaten creature was clogging up his throat, and they made the shocking discovery after the man was admitted to the hospital. He paid a visit there after eating a meal that included an 8-limbed animal, and it became clear what the problem was. He started vomiting immediately after eating, but his esophagus, the tube from the mouth to the stomach, was blocked. Well, when they got in there, they found the octopus, the tentacle in there.
Tentacles. It is. They posted a picture of it. It is, like I said, it is a nightmare.
They used forceps to grasp the head of the octopus to extract it. He did recover quickly from the procedure and was discharged from the hospital 2 days later.
I'm going to pull up this picture during
after the octopus was removed from his throat. More of the random question coming up. 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow-wee.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted. From sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savory without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one. Because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's sweet potato fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. Chris, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see. Okay, let's go this one. What would you say is a common thing that people sometimes do that maybe they don't realize is actually a rude thing to do?
Okay.
So we used to have an employee that we worked with, and he would get on the elevator before everyone got off.
Every time, without fail.
Oblivious to what he was doing. It wasn't the rudest thing in the world, but he was really just
But it annoyed everyone.
He was very much oblivious to the fact that
it was rude.
Would just be easier if
I told him.
If people would get off the elevator.
Yeah.
How'd you phrase it? Just like, look,
I put my hand up and I said, stop. I said, that is rude. He was like, well, you got to let people off first. That is rude to do.
Right? And what did he say?
I don't know, something. And then, of course, I got a talking to from one of the bosses. I was like,
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, my God.
Christ. It was two sets of rules.
So, Chris, what would you say is something that people do?
Look, that guy's a full-grown adult.
Right.
He can't handle the goddamn truth about being a rude a-hole. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So, not coming at any of you guys, but when people don't wait for someone else to finish talking before they jump in and either answer
Dude,
the
you're
question
exactly
or just
right,
talk
and
about
it is unbelievably rude.
And he just did it.
That's the joke, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's well, look, if you've ever heard this show before, there are times when people take a pause that is just so, it's like a hole you could drive a truck through, and you're not necessarily sure if they are done talking or they're going to complete their thought. So it's not that you're jumping, you're responding to what they said, but you didn't know.
We thought you were done.
That sometimes is tricky, but other than that, you pretty well know when people are done talking.
I mean, in person, it's easier because a lot of times there's a pause, but you can see the, kind of moving their eyes up so they're looking for their next sentence. You go, okay. But on the phone, we don't know that. And then I have a good friend who's just fried from a lot of drugs that he did in the past. So I do know that when he's speaking to me, I give him extra time before I say anything. Because, man, he'll tell you something. I went down to Mexico the other day. All right. It was a good time, man. But that's just. But it took me about a year to figure that out. I'm like, okay, he's never really done with the sentence.
Yeah. So the reason we ask common things people do they don't realize are actually rude, there's a thread online about the things that people do or say without realizing how rude they are. Maybe you agree with some of those. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you're guilty of some of these. But here are a few. Saying, no offense, is often followed by something very offensive. If you feel like you need to buffer like no offense, then you probably should reconsider vocalizing what you had to say in the first place. Which was like a Rodney Dangerfield stand-up,
Right.
Your wife looks like a leather glove. No offense. But he was like the first guy that I ever heard say that a lot.
Yeah, I get a bad habit of saying it when it's nothing offensive. It's just like a weird crutch.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I think for most people it actually is.
Giving unsolicited parenting advice, even indirectly, through your own maybe social media post. Some people get a preaching, shaming vibe that way. A lot of parents are guilty of this with their own children who have children as far as raising them. They raised you, so they feel like they know better.
Well, I was telling them, I'm doing what I was taught. Like, if you think this parenting style sucks, guess where I got it from?
Yeah.
My parents.
And you also modify your parenting skills based on what you did not enjoy growing up from your parents.
Sure.
So, and I know this is a perfectly acceptable answer from a parent, but I would always say, hey, is it okay if I go over and spend the night at Brian's house or Jeff's house? No. Do we have something to do tomorrow? No. Why not? Well, I just want you at home. Okay, are we watching a movie? What's going down? No, you're staying at home tonight. Okay, well, could you tell me why? Because I said so. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, but look, I do that now.
That was it. But
you paid to live here. No, okay, sorry, man. These are the rules. And if you want me to know, it's probably going to hurt your feelings. Because you're effing up in school. Because you didn't do the thing I asked you to do. Instead, just no. And let's leave it at that. You'll be happier with me not answering. I have a reason.
Sure.
You don't want to hear the reason, and I'm being nice by not making you feel bad. So do you want to go to your room in tears? Or you just want to talk to him on the phone? Right. It's up to you.
So mine was just the fact that it was no real reason. I wasn't in trouble for anything. It was just because I said so.
Right.
So that was I'm not going to say that to my children. I will still tell them no.
Sure.
I'll still tell them they can't do something. But I will never say, the reason is because I said so.
Yeah.
So,
don't worry.
Stupid as that.
But I got a reason. Mm-hmm. Your dad has a reason for every decision that he makes. A lot of them you don't want to know, and you're welcome.
Right. And then the pass the buck thing. All right, well, ask your dad. And I'm like,
depending on the question, I already know. But my response 9 times out of 10 is I don't care. Because so-and-so spending night. Yeah. I don't care. I assume you already asked your mom. They said ask you. Then yes. Because she doesn't care enough to answer. I don't care enough to answer. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dad, can I go spend the night at Brian or Jeff's house? Whatever. He's like, I don't care, man. I want you to ask your mom. I already did. She said no.
I know.
Why did she say no? I don't know. But she told me to come and talk to you. So do you have ultimate authority here, or does she?
But to me, there's a difference. If they said ask me, then my answer is the final answer. Yeah. If she said no, well, then no.
Commenting on weight or physique in any way, even it's meant as a compliment.
I don't know.
It depends on what you say.
You look good.
You look like you've been working out. Is that a bad thing?
It's a thyroid issue. I mean, look, you might guess wrong, but generally when you're making a physical compliment, you mean what you're saying, and I would not perceive it as rude.
You know what I mean? It's just if you lose a bunch of weight and stuff, people just you look so much better. It's right. It's kind of a backhand way of saying God, you look like crap.
Correct.
Correct.
So that's where it comes from.
Well, a lot of times people say, "Man, you look really nice today." I'm like, the implication being I look like crap every day. I'm not that sensitive, so that doesn't bug me. But I'm like,
I understand what you're saying. I understand that if I'm at a wedding and I'm dressed up or something.
That's typically when you hear it.
That's not how I look on a normal basis.
I don't mean the random day where I got eye boogers. Like, you look good today. Well, then I definitely look like crap all the time. But yeah,
these are common things that people do that people don't realize are rude. Looking at your phone while someone is talking to you.
Yes.
Asking a newly married couple, do you plan on having kids? Or any couple, really. Also, asking a couple if and when they're planning to get married.
Mm-hmm.
These are rude things that people do they don't realize.
I think that's mostly parents. I feel like parents ask their kids more than anybody else. When are you going to make me a grandmother? When are you going to make me a grandfather? Now, if it's a friend of mine, I will ask individually, man, you guys think about having kids. But rarely would I ask the couple. Right. Because I don't know if that's a hot button issue or not.
Yep. On letting your dog jump on someone else. Also, don't let your kids jump on someone else.
Well, yeah.
So these are things that people do that they don't actually know or some people think are rude. If someone declines alcohol or drugs, insisting that they partake or looking disappointed or asking them why they're not drinking or smoking. Another thing people do. Stepping off of a busy escalator and then stopping.
Yes.
Just to look around. So others have to awkwardly get off while trying to avoid running into you.
I don't think that's rude. I think it's lack of awareness.
Same thing with walking into a door. This also seems to happen with moving walkways at the airport or being on the right side of those moving walkways.
That I agree with, yeah.
So if someone's in a hurry, especially in this instance because you're at an airport, that they can get by you and get to where they need to be. Parking a shopping cart in the middle of the aisle, even temporarily at the grocery store, so that others can't pass. Just being cognizant of the aisle you're in. And
I feel like that's an old person thing that I see more.
And sometimes it's just a matter of you just leave it there. There's nobody else in the aisle. Then you turn around and somebody's right there.
Also,
right. But it's very rare in a grocery store where people aren't like, sorry, my bad, or whatever.
And that is very true.
And
They
if
will apologize. Hey, sorry, man.
And if someone's in front of where you're trying to get to and they're looking for what they need to get, and you can see there's a cream cheese I need, I still wait until they're kind of done in their space, and then...
Do you? All right, see, I don't mind going, hey, excuse me, I just got to grab that real quick.
And I got no problem like that.
Because, look, I do it, too. Like, sometimes, I feel like the cheese in the chip aisle, I get stuck for a while.
Because you're like, yeah. I would agree with Ted on that. Like, look, man, and I get it from anyone in those aisles, unless you have a specific recipe you're making. Seems like when people get in front of cheese, they'll grab whatever the staple is. Maybe they get American Singles, right? And there's like 40 other things that you haven't tried yet. You don't know if you're going to like it, but you know you like cheese. Like, I will give you, like, hey, man, this is like looking at the Cheesecake Factory menu. Take a minute.
Yep.
And sometimes, I don't blame people, and I just know how my brain works. Like, sometimes you just start looking, it's like, am I going to make a grilled cheese this week? Would I want provolone?
Yeah.
So if somebody's like, excuse me, it's like, yeah. I'm just
going to be here a minute.
And listening to anything in public with the volume turned up. I had that. I had that a few weeks back on the train in Chicago. This girl sat down next to me, and it was TikTok videos, and they move pretty quickly, obviously. So it was.
But I find that more distracting.
And difference of volume on a lot of these.
Right. Or it's the same song over and over, just a different person dancing. You just hear the
exactly.
Like Thrill talks about it, but you hear the same 8-second clip over.
I couldn't help but look over, just like going, like, what in the hell are you?
How old was she?
Oh, probably
mid-20s. Yeah,
you're old enough to know.
Yeah, I mean, she just got done with work.
I'll tell you one
thing.
thing.
Checking on her phone.
It annoyed me yesterday. I can't remember where we were going, and they did not block us, but a car had double parked on the side of the road. They're sitting in their vehicle, but they double parked. Directly in front of them, there's 40 feet of curb. And I'm just like, what? So anyway, the point is, it's a 2-lane road that we're on. We could still move forward, but now there's like 4 cars backed up behind this person waiting for us to go by so they can all go around them. And I'm like, you got 40 feet of curb sitting directly in front of you, but you stopped next to another car. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What in the hell are you doing?
Random.
God, I don't know why that made me so mad. It didn't even block us. I'm like, what are you doing? Hello, Paul. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hola.
Paul, welcome to the program. We're doing great, man. Thank you. All right, Paul, let's go here. Okay, who have you awkwardly seen having sex, or who has awkwardly, accidentally seen you partaking in that activity?
That's easy. I was having relations with my wife, and it was like, 2:00 in the morning, in our room. Next thing I know, the light in our master bathroom comes on, and my 6-year-old son is taking a whiz in the bathroom.
Did he walk by you not knowing what was going on?
I'm assuming that's what happened. I haven't really asked him because this is like 20-some years ago, but he had to have seen something because I was definitely bare, and there were no blankets or anything. He must have seen something.
Well, he's trying to get it out of his head too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Why didn't he use the bathroom in the hallway like normal kids?
That he had a bathroom right across the hall from him, and yet he goes all the way into our master bathroom.
Yeah, I never did get that. Because I always felt like the hall bathroom belonged to me. That was mine.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really supposed to, not that I wasn't allowed to go into my parents' room. I was. I just didn't really have any business being in there, so to speak. There was, just like anything else.
I've got a random question for you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm new to Washington, and I had something happen to me today. I need to know, what do I have to look out for on the freeway? What are the cops driving, honestly?
Okay, here's the tips that I can give you. Most of the state patrol cars are marked. There are some Challengers out there and some other cars that are unmarked, and you'll see them pull people over from time to time. But if you want to be a successful driver, I think the right lane is your friend on the interstate. Yes. A lot of the time, people kind of just drive at a medium speed in the left-hand lane, not understanding the rules of the road. And when you get to the right lane, you get professional drivers, like 18-wheelers. Those guys, they know what the hell they're doing because they do it every day for a living. I think it's even more safer to be on the right side of the road in Washington State compared to other states. You can go faster. You don't get held up as much, and you're driving in the same lane as the pros do. Or if you get in the left lane, it's going to be a parade of Subarus that just are not paying attention. That's my personal experience.
But as far as avoiding the cops, he's right, man. Most of the cars are marked. The Challengers might take you by surprise.
That's exactly what happened. I was on the 16 about to cross the Narrows Bridge, and this maroon unmarked Challenger. All of a sudden, lights line up it was maroon. I saw red and blue lights in his back window, and I'm like, wait! And he pulled over two guys right after the Narrows Bridge. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I haven't seen the maroon one. Where did you move here from?
I don't like to say.
All right, West Virginia.
I mean,
Central California, and that always comes with stigmas. And
no, hey man, look, he's right.
I mean, but
we make fun of Californians all the time,
right?
Yeah. Well, at least you got out before the weather hit.
Yeah, no matter where you're from, we're going to make fun of it.
Exactly.
Well,
Okay. Well, enjoy your time here, man.
And look out for maroon. That's the surprises me, man. I've seen them in the black Chargers, but maroon. That's
it was maroon. It was literally. I was like, what the heck?
They're undercover, so they're going to be a bunch of different colors.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. The regular state troopers are just white.
Mm-hmm. Reason we asked, who have you awkwardly seen having sex?
The cars.
Right. We all know Elizabeth Hurley. She has a new scene in her upcoming movie, Strictly Confidential. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons. First, Liz is 58, although I think most people can agree she's far from a typical 58-year-old woman, physically speaking and mentally. Second, the movie was written and directed by her son. Yes, 21-year-old Damian Hurley wrote and directed a scene in which his mother has sex with another woman.
And I believe it's like full nudity or whatever.
It is.
I mean, I understand it's acting. He's a director and all that. Still be like, Mom, I got someone else for this part.
And I might check out this movie now.
I definitely plan to.
Yeah, I'm with you. Somebody's got to step in for that day.
Just one day, that's all.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
Is there anything more satisfying than finding something that perfectly lines up with your taste and checks all the boxes? Like a suit from Indochino. Their suits are made to measure and totally customizable with endless options. Choose the cut, fabric, lining, and more for the suit of your dreams at a surprisingly affordable price. Go to Indochino.com and use code PODCAST to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. That's 10% off at INDOCHINO.com with code podcast.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut up our categories today: America's favorite beers and the most stressed out and least stressed out states here in the United States. Your guess is as good as mine coming up right after emails on a random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Candy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola! Candy, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, Candy, let me ask you this. Have you been married before?
Yes.
Okay. More than once or just one time?
2 times.
2 times. Okay. What year did you get married the first time?
Let's see. That'd be 78.
1978. And when you got married, did you have a wedding?
Yes, I did. A little church wedding.
Do you remember how much, just basically total-wise, the wedding cost you in 1978?
$50.
$50. So you got a marriage certificate? You went to the church? You did not do that?
Nope. Everybody took care of me, and I paid the preacher $50, and that was it.
Did you guys have a reception?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And someone else supplied the food and everything else, or paid for that?
Yep.
You just don't know how much they ended up paying for that?
They made it all themselves, so it just groceries is all.
All right. Okay. Very cool. Now, how about this? So what year was it when you got married the second time?
89.
All right. And
I was hoping you would say 1978 again. Be like, atta girl.
Did you do another wedding, or did you elope this time?
We did. Yeah, we went to Reno.
You went to Reno. And did you get married in Reno as well?
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say the total cost of that wedding was? Trip included, whether you're driving, hotel rooms. How much did the wedding cost?
The actual wedding was only like $200.
Okay, but the weekend itself, probably, over $1,000, right?
Oh, I'd say about that, yeah.
Okay, all right. Just trying to figure out the average cost that people spend. Some people go to great lengths.
Sure.
Spend a lot of money and everything else.
But it's also 78 and 89.
Correct. Yeah,
so
a little bit different
I'm sure it's all relative, but it sounds better when you hear that stuff.
If you're looking for a weekend of work, they say that, weddings can be expensive depending on what you pay for. Well, the lovely Rihanna just got paid $6 million.
Damn.
To do a private show in India. A private show at a wedding. It was actually a pre-wedding party for the son of Mukesh Ambani, who just happens to be...
Mukesh Ambani?
Mukesh Ambani, I believe is how you say it.
Oh, I thought you said Ambani.
Ambani,
okay.
I believe. Just happens to be the richest man in Asia. He is worth $112 billion. There were only about 1,200 people there, but this was just not some big blow-off gig. She played 19 songs. She had her elaborate stage setup, plus backup dancers. Actually, that was the first full-length concert that Rihanna has done since 2016. Now, she's been pregnant a couple times.
She did the Super Bowl.
Right, she does. Yep. She'll do performances, but because I want to say she's also done a couple of other one-off, I'll do a couple of shows, again, for rich people like in Saudi Arabia, whatever. Hey, just do 6 songs for us. It's like, cool.
And that's what this guy does. For other family members, he's hired Beyonce, Chris Martin, and the Chainsmokers to play pre-wedding parties for other family members back in the day. But this was the biggest... As far as the amount, it's his son that he paid for entertainment.
If you have $112 billion, $6 million is so negligible to you that we would perceive that as like the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? You just go, yeah, man, that'd be the equivalent of coming up to us and say, hey, dude, Rihanna will do your pre-wedding TED out of pocket, dude. It's going to cost like $35. My money says you go, okay, here's $35. Tell Rihanna thank you and let her do her 19 freaking songs.
Right. And one thing that was interesting.
And I don't know why, but I looked at the picture and was like, yeah, that son looks like a rich little Nepo baby.
I saw a picture of him. I had the same thought, maybe because I knew in advance. Now, if you just showed me his picture and said, who's this? I would say, I don't know, but he's filthy rich.
And it's interesting when you see the mixture of at least people from the United States who end up going to this thing. Mm-hmm. So you've got Mark Zuckerberg and his wife.
Yeah, I think when you're a billionaire, it seems like a lot. So, right, especially when you go international.
I believe Bill Gates was there.
Yeah, different countries and people, we don't like this country, we don't like this country, there's turmoil, there's this. billionaires kind of like have their own country. Right. Like, they roll together. It does not matter what is happening politically. Like, hey, Mark, come on over.
That's
man.
exactly right, because Hillary Clinton was there, so was Ivanka Trump. So there's
Right.
just a huge mix of people from all,
Yeah, it's just about that billionaire being like, look, I can buy whatever I want and whoever I want.
And would you like to see Rihanna because she's playing here?
Yeah.
She doesn't tour anymore, so here's a show.
A full-length show. Which,
Random.
$6 million for a weekend. She didn't pay for any of the travel. She didn't pay for anything.
Random.
Hell, I would do it. I'll do karaoke for you for $500,000. I'm not saying not to be good, but if you need to save money, I'll sing her songs for you. Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, boy.
Hola.
John, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, here's yours. How have you successfully or unsuccessfully smuggled contraband?
Well, let's see, that's a good one. I'm trying to think. Not that I've had much experience doing such things.
But I mean, even if you're a kid smuggling candy and popcorn into the movie theater, as an adult trying to sneak in a flask of drugs, I mean, at some point, for whatever reason, probably to save money, you've tried to sneak something into somewhere that would otherwise tell you not to.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, I can think of, I used to live in Hawaii, and I went to a movie once, and this is how sad it was. I went with my sister. But right next to the movie theater was a dollar store, and I just had her pack her purse full of Nerds, all sorts of other candy, chips, whatever. And so this purse was just bulging at the seams. Mm-hmm. And, you go to get the movie tickets, and the guy's like, I don't know if they checked the bag, but he definitely thought something was up. But I think they had so much experience that they were right next to a dollar store that they're like, yeah, just come on in.
Okay. You know what? That is a good point you make here. If you were to open a cinema, don't open it next to a dollar store. Or if you do open it next to a dollar store, don't show anything but R-rated movies. Because if there's kids, they're going to load up on crap from there.
I think the most savvy I've ever seen, Ted, was one of your ex-girlfriends who had either vodka or whiskey that were kind of professionally put
you can put whatever you wanted into them. Right, because she worked for like a skin cream place where you put the cream into the tubes.
Right.
So most people don't know this, but like same thing like when we go over to Black Raven, you see how the cans get filled. So those tubes are already sealed, but you fill them, and then it has like a little machine that would pinch them closed. So that's why it was foolproof because they were sealed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like nobody's going to suspect there's liquor in them.
No, that was
funny.
great.
It was cool. Was it football or baseball? I don't remember. But either way, all of us had like 6 or 7 on us. And any bit of suspicion you got from security was, hey, we're just giving out free samples or whatever. And they were dead cool about it. They're like, yeah, all right, man, we don't care. Now, I think they may have gotten suspicious if they were to look at us, maybe up in the stands opening what you perceive to be lotion, and people are squirting it directly down their throats. Throat lotion.
Yeah. When we moved across the country, everything got put into a big 18-wheeler. And so all 3 of our stuff was in there. And me not knowing too much about the weed scene, I made sure that I bought an ounce and really packed that well and hid it into a box as best I possibly could. Not knowing that as soon as we got to Seattle, we'd be able to fall in the street and a joint would land in her mouth. We didn't understand. At least I didn't understand that at the time. So I was just kind of crossing my fingers that truck would make it across the country without any weirdness.
Right.
But it did. And we eventually found that weed pretty quickly.
It was amazing. Basically, Miles said, look, man, I packed some weed. The weed is in a, what is it?
A Metamucil.
A Metamucil jar.
I was trying to
cover the smell. And then that jar is in a box. Right. This is the information we have. When they put all of our stuff in storage, it's like the end scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is, it's just a mountain of boxes. I don't know what it is with you, ma'am. I'm telling you, like, Miles is looking at the boxes, and all of the boxes look exactly the same because they're boxes. And he's like, this one. Opened it up, and sure enough, there's
I climbed over everyone else's stuff. And got back there, pulled the box out. I'm like, I got it.
That's the one.
This is the one.
I thought we were going to be there a hot minute looking for this one.
No, we got it within 5 minutes. The reason we asked, have you ever successfully or unsuccessfully smuggled contraband? Rollerblade wheels that were infused with cocaine were discovered inside an intercepted package from Colombia to Wisconsin. Colombia being the country to Wisconsin. Leading to a drug raid that turned up more than $30,000 of narcotics and forged papers. Sheriff's Department and Homeland Security, they carried out the joint operation with a search of a home in Kennesaw. A week earlier, the sheriff's office was contacted about an intercepted package containing a set of Canarium rollerblades that was en route from Bogota. The parcel had been flagged because U.S. Customs and Border Protection identified the wheels on the rollerblade as suspicious.
Because it's from Bogota.
And a series of tests was conducted on the wheels. It was discovered the wheels, they were basically infused with a gelatin-like substance that tested positive for the presence of cocaine. So once you got this, you melted it down.
And you had your coke.
Put it on a sheet, put it in the oven, bam. Cocaine.
The term they use is like Bogota or something. You're going to have more inspection because it's a source country.
Absolutely. I mean, guys, send it somewhere else first that does not care, probably also Central America, then send it to me.
Right.
Look, you could send a Christmas card from Bogota. There's a good chance they're going to intercept it and just scrape the glitter, right? It can be as legit as you want it to be, but it's right. It's a source country. Do not send it to my home straight from Bogota.
Yeah, that's kind of the new thing, though. Instead of giant shipments, you just send a bunch of, like, they're still big
random
size,
stuff.
but you just send a bunch of smaller ones. And just like there's just not. It's just gonna. Some of it's going to get through.
One of my one of my neighbors in when I lived in Maryland, his deal was his family did flowers. And so all their warehouses were refrigerated, which was a more expensive deal at the time because it gets hot there and Maryland gets scorching. But these warehouses were huge, but it really was like you were working in a refrigerator.
Yeah.
So all the people that worked in there wore gloves all the time and everything. And they supplied the local Giants and all of the florists.
That would be
flowers,
a grocery chain there.
Yeah, that they get. They all came from South America. His warehouse would get inspected and or raided at least once a week. There were times where I would be just sitting at the bar waiting for his ass.
Yeah.
And he would be 45 minutes later, and I call him like, Rick, what are you doing? And he's like, man, the feds are here. They're going through this one crate. I don't know what the deal is. Because
did anything ever get sent to his warehouse?
Oh, yeah. Vases that were basically made out of cocaine. Glazed vases.
But no, wait. So, but if I'm him, and now and look, I'm not ordering this.
No.
Did these vases have another destination after that? So in other words, they show up at my warehouse. Like, I did not order these, but is Ted's grocery on the corner down there? Who wants these vases? Like, is there a forwarding address, in other words? You know what I mean?
It basically, yes.
Okay.
It depended. So at one point in time, it was like a new baby kind of a vase. It was like shaped like a rabbit or, like congratulations, whatever the deal. So they had like all these little kid animals or, glazed cocaine vases. He had no skin in this. I mean, because most of the time, even where his warehouse was, a refrigerated truck would pick up their order and they'd go to Philadelphia. They would go to.
Makes sense.
He was like a distributor for the area.
Yeah.
So, Northern Virginia, wherever you need these flowers, he held them, refrigerated them, then they moved out to where they're supposed to go. But he would get crap. And like anything else, he has no idea.
But here's the thing.
The destination is the destination, so they would then follow along.
But the feds would understand that, like, hey, I am not making this happen.
No.
I'm just unwittingly supplying whatever.
He would do the thing where, much like this case, where you allow the shipment, they allow the shipment to continue to its route.
Okay, all right.
And then from there...
Then nail those people on the other side.
They deduct what's going on, depending on...
Yeah, I'd be like, please do.
And they already know where it's going. They already know where the shipment's going. They have people already waiting there. They'll ship it and make sure once you've got it. You can't bust me for having 3 pounds of weed right now because I don't have 3 pounds of weed. But if it's on the way, and I'm supposed to pick it up in an hour, then guess what I got? I got 3 pounds of weed.
Right.
Now you can bust my ass.
I think my favorite that I heard was, and they called the guy, but I don't remember where he's coming from. Somewhere south of here. It could have been Mexico, Guatemala, whatever. But, he shows up in a wheelchair, and there's people where the tires are made out of cocaine. Not this guy. He's in a full body cast, but he still has to go through the x-ray machine. And the thing that tipped him off was, they're like, look, man, I'm not a medical professional. I work TSA. But he went through the x-ray machine, as everyone does. There's no breaks in his bone, but he's got this full leg cast on. So they took a sample of the cast. The cast itself was made out of cocaine. Mm-hmm. And the thing that tipped it off, like I said, was the fact that you have no broken bones when you went through the x-ray.
No, my daughter told me that flying out of Bogota to Miami was one of the easiest experiences as far as you walk into the airport. There's not really even security as far as you just kind of take your stuff. They do have an x-ray machine that you go through, but other than that, you just show your ticket, you walk through, you get on your plane. Now, based on where they were coming from, when they got to Miami, they missed their connecting flight.
Oh, they're going to search.
That one plane alone was in a line for 2.5 hours. I mean, she said it was just, it was incredible as far as.
They're looking for your drugs.
Yeah, as far as just how thorough they were, as far as like, we know where you came from.
I'd say one of my strangest experiences with that, it was customs in Mexico. And I'm not worried about it. I got nothing on me. But typically when you go through customs, it is normal adults that you speak to. They will ask you a few questions. You go through. You're on your way. I don't know what this is for. I don't know if there's some holiday going on, but they were mimes. I mean, faces painted, pure white. They didn't say anything with the striped shirts, like just mimes that you see. And they were pretty thorough, but they wouldn't say anything. They would open your suitcase, and they pull things out, and they put it back in, and they'd like pull out some things and look at you and just kind of shake their head and wave their finger. And I'm like, what in the F is this? But they were officially sanctioned.
Where was this?
This was in Mexico. We're coming out of Mazatlan, like the first or second time we went, so this had to be about 14 or 15 years ago. It's the first time we went down, and like I said, we're leaving. We're not sweating it. We got nothing on us, but I'm like, when they said, hey, put your bags through customs and stand with your bag, 2 mimes walked over. I think they're going to try to entertain me or something, so I'm already irritated. They unzip my bag, start pulling stuff out, but like the regular security at the airport, they still have their arms folded, so I realized, like, they work here. Then the question in my head is, were you a mime first who applied as a security guard, or were you a security guard that said, hey, I've always wanted to try my hand at miming, and me and my buddy here both want to be mimes, we'll go through the suitcase. But I will say this, as weird as it was, it's probably the most relaxed I've been.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm just like, because they're doing the whole smile thing, and they have their hand routines, and I'm like, this is insane. This is insane.
Flying out of Puerto Vallarta, I got, like day 2 or 3, I get weed.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. It's Mexican brown dirt weed. It has been pressed in a tile press.
Right.
It is brown. It is stemmy. It is seedy. It is the most nasty stuff you've ever looked at in your life. Now, when you break it down and smoke it, you get high as F.
Sure.
You cannot believe how hot. It's grown outdoors. It's got a different kind of flavor to it.
But generally, when you mix up strains, you're always going to get.
Yeah, it was great weed to smoke. But then right before we go to the airport, I'm like, look, I'm going to flush a certain percentage of this down, but I still have 2/3 of a joint that I'm going to smoke. So right before we leave, I just chief up this last joint, throw in the toilet, flush the rest of the stuff down the drain. We go to the airport. On the way to the airport, my mouth is as dry as a desert. All right. Now, what I don't realize is like my lips are sticking together. So the first thing I did was before I even went to the ticket counter or anything, I went to the bathroom because I'm like, I need some water and I need to wash my face off. When I looked in the mirror, I had this brown ring going all the way around my lips, and it's sticky and gummy, and soap won't cut through it. And it's sticking my lips together. But it's brown. And every time I smudge it or try to wipe it a little bit, then it traces off on yellow. So now it looks like basically like I ate a brick of marijuana.
Yeah.
My lips are all just nasty looking and brown. And I can't the soap won't cut through it. I can't get it off. I'm trying to wipe with a paper towel. It's not coming off. But it reeks of weed.
That's the other thing about that. Once you get that crust, man, you smell like nothing but weed.
You get a little bit on your fingers, on your hands. Now it's on your hands, and you can't wash it off. I'm just like, I must have been in the bathroom for 5-10 minutes just trying to wash the crap off my lips from that joint. Just like, I'm probably going to end up going to jail just based on resin.
Random.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. Random question. All right. Let's see what we got for you here, Mike. Okay. Let's go with this one. Besides just normal sleep, what else do you typically do in your bedroom? In your bed specifically. Now, obviously, we know you probably have relations if you can, but what else do you tend to do in your bed?
Wow. I've actually, as much as you may hate the worthless sports cards, but whenever my wife leaves, sometimes I'll pull out from underneath the bed like those old baseball cards and stuff like that and kind of go through those. And there's actually, might be for you, Miles, there's a pretty good app, or a few apps that are out there, but you can just simply scan the card and it'll tell you like what the value of it is.
Is it able to actually look at the condition as well?
I think you kind of just have to judge that off your own eye.
Okay. All right. That is pretty cool. Because same thing with records. I'd love to. I'm sure there's an app that does that as well. As far as is that the first pressing, or is this worth anything, or is it whatever?
Yeah, they have. I think they have one for you can do that Google thing where it just does a instant shot of it and tells you how much it's where it's selling for and stuff like that too. But some of the apps that I use do Pokemon cards, baseball, football, all sorts of stuff. And if you actually want to pay for it, you can, but otherwise they'll still show you the price and stuff. So yeah, keep that in mind.
What is your most valuable card?
I have the Dan Marino rookie card, but I know that's not the most valuable. That's
still not
what
bad.
Sucks with. Yeah, today it kind of sucks though because all the cards are diminished in value, except unless you buy the new autograph and all that stuff.
They really have. For whatever reason, that hobby got hit pretty well as far as the value of stuff.
Back in the day, if it was autograph, it was worth less.
Right, they got because you defaced the card. It was about the card, not the autograph.
Reason we asked, what else besides sleep do you do in bed? A new poll found that 11% of Americans do what? They exercise in bed. Things like crunches or stretching or a few leg raises.
All right, that makes sense.
And it was a part of a bigger poll on America's dirtiest sleeping habits, a reason that maybe you want to wash your sheets more often. So here's what they found. Over 50% of us don't always shower at night. I don't always shower at night.
I don't.
2/3 let their pet sleep in bed with them. Don't have a pet, but when I do, typically they end up there. And around half of us will snack in bed. Guilty.
I do not snack in bed.
I will take a little candy bar or something like that.
But part of it's because I have a pet at home.
Yep. 21% smoke or vape, and a third of us we don't wash our hands if we have to get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. Guilty.
No, I will. I will wash my hands.
I'm guilty. And also found 1 in 3 Americans don't brush their teeth before they go to bed.
I do that. But, it helps in the morning.
That doesn't have much to do with how gross your sheets are. It's just a bonus reminder that you're disgusting in general and that you should wash them more often.
I think once a year I smoke a joint in bed.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a little luxury around my birthday. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah,
I get holidays rolling up. I got you.
That's a good idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, the categories America's favorite beers and stressed out states. Plus, we got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savory without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Wow, which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All right, tell your guess is as good as mine. Cut of our categories: America's favorite beers and the most and least stressed out states here in the United States. But first, time for a few emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
As we jump right into the birthdays, Ola Bachola's longtime listener from Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka.
Today's my 26th birthday. I would love a barbershop fish sandwich and you guys talking all over each other about what you think about metalcore. Thanks, guys. That from William.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Or brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll be honest with you, man.
When I think about metalcore,
I haven't listened to metalcore much, but back in the day, for sure, always go to all these freaking different shows that they had that they come in, and those are always the best shows to go to. Although I will say, most of the chicks there could beat your ass. So you do have a lot of fun hitting on people.
How's it going, guys? I would love to give a birthday shout out to Glenda. It is her 28th trip around the sun. 28-year-old Glenda.
And she's a good witch.
If she can possibly get some farting noises, turtle sex, and advice from the Dirty Germans on what she should do tonight, that would be great. From Zeke the Freak in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Glenda, since you're there in very hot Arizona, we know it is quite dry there. I say tonight you add a little moisture.
Yeah, first of all, I'd stay away from this Zeke the Freak guy, and then I'd go get all the free drinks in Glendale.
Guys, birthday shout out from my coworker Tom, as today's his Dirty 30. So how about the Dirty Germans and maybe a pep talk from Coach Ted on how to spend his birthday now that he's sober? Thanks, guys. That from Skylar.
Yeah, just understand this about your dirty or squatty 30. For whatever reason, not since you turned 21 will you have more drinks purchased for you, or for whatever reason, a better chance of getting laid tonight. The only downside is also on your 30th birthday, you could have sex with 15 different women, and when you wake up tomorrow, you will not remember.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, though, since the sober guys, this year he will actually remember the birthday.
Oh, yeah, that is right. Get your friends the free drinks. They will become better wingmen.
All right, it's 30. You're single and you're sober. Just lie. People buy you free drinks. Just act like you're hammering them down. And some girls like, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of you. Be like, oh, no, don't do that.
Make sure you use that tone of voice.
Yeah. I'm so hammered.
Fellas, today is that once a year specialty day that I was pushed out of the world, or into it. I'd like to do a shout out for me turning 57, still a kid at heart. Farts are still comical to me. Give me an underwater one. With the room talking all over themselves about summer plans. Thanks again, rock on. That from Das Cheese. Summer plans.
Right now, so far, let's see. I believe on July 3rd, I'll be going to the Orioles-Mariners game. That's just me and Mike, so we can have that rivalry. And then in August, I'll have the misfortune of flying to Delaware, where it's hotter than the Satan's. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you. BJ.
Ya's a Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Really have to go to Delaware?
Yeah. I don't have to. I'm just being nice for the kids this year.
15, 20 people?
Yeah, that's about the average. Last year, we managed to still be working the week that they went to Delaware, and then I met them on the backside down in rainy San Diego.
Oh.
This year, but they really, 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 really want me to go, and I love spending time with my kids, man. I love them to death. I do. I don't like spending time with anyone in Delaware. It's not even personal. It is hot. It's Delaware. I don't want to spend all the money to fly all that distance just to be miserable. It's so hot you don't even want to go to the beach.
It is hot.
I mean, seriously.
Let's see here. Let's get a contestant in line for your guess is as good as mine now. 206-803-ROCK. Couple of extra emails. Men's Room IPA is the subject. So, guys, I hop in my car about 2:20 to make a trip to Total Wine and More in Bellevue. And you guys are talking about your new Black Raven IPA beer for my entire trip here. I'm happy to report that they are still well stocked. Of course, I had to pick up a sixer. Nice marketing, gentlemen. Rock on that from Vic. You've got some Men's Room IPA.
I hope you enjoy it, man.
Total Wine and More in Bellevue. As far as our Friday announcement about the new beer, we asked a question, good or bad, what was news that you did not expect to hear? Guys, a few years ago, my brother and I did the Ancestry DNA test and have since traced back our lineage to the 1600s. Right. Both from Russia, but were adopted. I in 1999 and my brother in 2002. Turns out my brother is related to Joseph Stalin, which looking back explains so much now because my brother is an absolute psychopath, a narcissist, and colossally stupid in every conceivable way. Cheers, guys. That from Alex the Furry down in San Jose.
Explain to him.
Alex the Furry. Well, just because it went back to 1600s, I thought that Alex the 13th.
Right, the great, the bald, whatever.
The Furry. More unexpected news. Ola, we were not surprised when my stepdaughter got accepted to the UW program this fall. The unexpected news came when we found out she got a full ride scholarship.
Oh.
She's kicking butt and we're excited about her future.
Good for you, man.
Holly. Absolutely. Good for her. Better for you.
It's better for you.
Yes.
I mean, look, she was going to go anyway, but now you guys can take any one of those vacations that you've been putting off.
Right.
You can take like 3 of them as much as they charge to go there.
Unexpected news again, guys. Well, one Father's Day, I got home from work, hung out with the dad in the backyard. He got drunk and used this as a reason to tell me that I was adopted because he was shooting blanks. Cheers, guys. That from Andy in Snohomish.
Does he need to know all of that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can say you were adopted. Oh man, this ain't fertile down there. You know,
don't work.
All right, Dad, the first half is cool.
You're right, but screw it.
I guess at that point,
right? If you're going to tell your son he's adopted, it doesn't sound like it was really prompt.
Yeah,
well, you might as well tell him. Yeah, you shoot blanks.
And your mom, what's the thing I do with my fingers that she loves?
That's right. More unexpected news. Never expected I'd have, count them, 2 inoperable brain tumors. Was also told I would most likely die before reaching high school. I'm currently 53. Good times. That from Nevermore.
It doesn't mean he's in high school yet.
No.
It just means he's 53.
And one more extra email, travel distance stories from your Wednesday show, catching up on the Odyssey app all week long. I've been driving, guys, from Sacramento to Toledo, Ohio for an Air Force move. Again, wow. Sacramento to Toledo, Ohio.
What did you do wrong that they made you move to Toledo, Ohio?
2,700 miles total through 8 states in 6 days. I can't thank you guys enough for your show while we're driving, along with your other podcasts for entertainment and helping my girlfriend and I stay awake while driving. Notable moment during the very boring drive was some blonde lady catching me getting one of these, an old-fashioned, in one of the flyover states. Even with dark tinted windows, she somehow saw and broke her neck watching while passing like the Exorcist movie.
Then your trip was not nearly as uneventful as my road trips have been.
Other than that, thanks again for all the laughs. And we made it through the crazy weather from rain to snow to tornado warnings.
Jesus.
Cheers, Bacholas. That from Elliot. All right, time for a little Your Guess is as Good as Mine. It's an easy game to play. We pick from one of two categories. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes, and you're out.
That's the reason that's funny to me.
Yeah, so Steve, who is our contestant ready to play Your Guess is as Good as Mine.
Hello, Kyle. Welcome to the men's room.
What up, fellas?
Hola to you, Kyle. All right, Kyle, it's Your Guess as Good as Mine. You pick from one of two categories. Try to get as much right in said category before 3 strikes, and you're out. So we've got a few choices for you today. We have the 10 most stressed out states in America. They just released a ranking of the most and least stressed states in America. It's based on 16 factors that are grouped into 4 categories: money stress, work stress, health stress, and family stress. So, Kyle, you can pick the most stressed states or the least stressed states because we have 10 of both. All right? Your other category. We have the 20 most popular beers in the United States as of 2023. So the end of 2023, these are the most popular beers in the U.S. We have 20 of them. Kyle, if you get 10 right, we'll give you the category. So you'll be a winner either way. 20 options there. So stressed out states in America or the 50 most popular beers in the U.S.?
Let's go with the most chilled out states in America.
The most chilled out states. All right, least stressed states in America. All right, Kyle, you know how the game is played. You try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. This is the places in America where living is easy as far as not having a very stressful life.
Number 1, man, I'm going to go Hawaii.
You're going to go Hawaii, which seems like a great answer.
Really?
It is not.
Oh, Kyle, that was my number 1 pick as well.
I think that has a lot to do with money stress.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is an expensive place. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Damn.
Let's go Montana.
Montana. That seems reasonable. You move to Montana, get the outdoors and everything else now. I think basically work stress and health stress.
I was going to say work stress
are the two there.
Yeah, there's not enough jobs.
So maybe, and don't guess yet. You're already at 2 strikes. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe Florida. All right. So there is health stress because there's a lot of old people there, but a lot of old people go there because it kind of reduces their health stress.
I think Florida's a state that probably should be more stressed.
I believe that it should be,
but
I believe that the people that choose to live there are unaware of things that we're aware of, and they just kind of live.
They don't care.
Kyle, let me give you a little bit of a clue here. Easygoing life, typically in the middle of nowhere, equals a little bit less stress.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Let's go...
Like Colorado, Utah...
Wyoming.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's go with Wyoming.
You want to go with Wyoming? They are number 9 on the list. Very good.
Right.
Okay, now you're getting the gist of it.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Now let's go Nebraska.
Nebraska. They're number 4. Yes, no stress in Nebraska. It's just corn.
Cool. Right. Yeah.
There's another corn state on here.
Let's go Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is actually the 3rd most stressed out state.
Another corn state, I'll say Iowa.
Iowa, Ted, you're correct. Iowa is the 3rd least stressed out state in the United States.
Wow, they don't have any pro sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
That actually eliminates
Cyclones and Hawks.
What about Utah?
Utah's number 2.
All right.
Few up here in our area.
You know what? Let's say Washington.
Let's go number 10, Washington.
How about Idaho?
Idaho's number 7.
Yeah, Washington. I feel like Seattle's stressed. I don't know if the rest of our state is.
No. I mean, I'm sure they are, just for different reasons. What about New Mexico?
Not on the list.
Arkansas,
not on the list. They're not one of the most stressed states either.
What about Arizona?
Arizona. That's a great call. They're actually the 7th most stressed state.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Now, I'm going to say something like Kansas.
Kansas is not a bad guess at all. They are not on either one of the 2 lists.
How about next door, Missouri?
Missouri is neither on the least or most stressed list.
All right. Trying to think of the middle of the country, like some of that stuff.
What about somewhere like Wisconsin?
Wisconsin is the number 6 least stressed state.
What do you guys think of one of the 2 Dakotas?
Yeah.
How about North Dakota?
That's number 1.
Really?
How about South Dakota?
That is number 4.
We're feeling good about that, Mike.
Yes, exactly. So you guys only have 1 state left on the least stressed states.
Colorado.
So far, you've gotten Washington, Wyoming, Idaho, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Utah, and North Dakota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota is it. That is correct, Ted. That is number 5. neighboring states of North and South Dakota. If you guys want to take a shot at some of the most stressed states in the United States. Louisiana. That's a great guess, and that's number 4. Correct.
New York.
Most stressed states, New York, not on the list.
New Jersey.
New Jersey is not on the list.
Connecticut.
Not on the list.
So these are most stressed, right?
Most stressed states.
California.
Not on the list.
Damn it.
Arkansas.
Not on the list.
Maryland.
Maryland's not on the list.
He named a couple of them.
Mississippi's not on the list.
Well, we know Arizona's on there, so he already gave us that.
Arizona and Louisiana are on the list for sure. These are the most stressed states.
Texas?
Texas not on the list.
Jesus.
We're running out of states, fellas.
Yeah, they are.
Montana.
Not on the list.
Illinois.
What's that?
Illinois.
Not on the list.
New Hampshire.
Not on the list.
Kentucky.
Not on the list.
Michigan.
Not on the list.
Damn it.
Are some of them doubled up?
Nope.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Not on the list.
Texas.
If you've guessed
Already
it
said
and it's not in the 2, it's already gone.
I'll say Texas.
Yep.
Not on the list.
Florida not on the list.
Criminy. North Carolina.
North Carolina not on the list.
South Carolina.
South Carolina is on the list.
Yeah.
Thank God.
What are you stressed about South Carolina?
I have no idea.
Too much golf.
West Virginia.
West Virginia's number 9.
Oh, yeah.
Virginia.
Not on
the list.
Ah, my bad.
Kentucky.
Not on the list.
Pennsylvania.
Not on the list.
Georgia.
Yes.
Really?
Georgia's on the list.
All right, Mississippi.
Not on the list.
Alabama.
Alabama's number 2.
Jesus. How many are we missing there, Miles?
You've got 3 to go. 4 to go. 4 to go. 4 to go.
Okay, Alaska.
Alaska not on the list.
Hawaii.
Hawaii not on the list.
We did California. Have we done Oregon one way or
We
another?
have not done Oregon yet.
Georgia.
We did Georgia.
Georgia's on the list.
We did most of the Eastern Seaboard.
That's what I'm trying. I'm just trying to get
Tennessee.
SEC.
Tennessee's number 1. That is the most stressed out state.
I got it.
Very good. All right, so here you go. The 10 least stressed out states are Washington State, Wyoming, Idaho, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Utah, and North Dakota. The 10 most stressed states are Indiana, West Virginia, Arizona, Georgia, South Carolina, Nevada, Louisiana, Oklahoma at 3, Alabama at 2, and Tennessee. That is the number 1 stressed out state.
I was terrible in that category. Both
It
of
wasn't
them.
an easy category.
It's a bit, you feel like, I guess we have our perception of other places, and they're like, you might be right. Don't bug us none.
Coming up, we will drink a toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day 1 to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow.
Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Reaching your financial goals is so much easier with Millie Bank. With our customizable jars, put your money directly toward your savings goals, keeping them in sight and on track. Plus, with our highly competitive annual percentage yield and no fees or minimums, your money will grow faster with complete transparency. So whether it's a much-needed vacation, a passion project, or building an emergency fund, save more for the things that matter most with Millie Bank. Get started by visiting Millie.bank or download the Millie app today.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, count of minutes. We'll drink a toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. A teenager in Germany spends less than $9,000 a year on housing.
I saw this.
Because he lives on a train.
But his philosophy was this. He's like, look, it's not for everyone. I recognize that, but I'm young. I get to decide where I want to go every day. And if I want to spend a night in another city, and Europe's all connected.
And he has an interest in trains, too. He actually just loves doing it.
He clearly has an interest in trains.
Exactly.
How much does he spend on trains?
Less than $9,000 a year. It's like $8,500 a year on just living on this train.
Yeah. And again, he's like, I'm 19. You know, the thing with the states, our country is so big, you can spend the same amount of time on a train. You're still in the U.S. You can see different states, but for him, like, I'm in Germany one day, go to Spain, France.
I recently caught a video of a couple that took the Zephyr from San Francisco to Chicago.
Is that the fast one?
I think so. Not exactly as fast. It's like, it's a few days.
Okay.
But they do not exactly give you a whole lot of room when it comes to sleeping arrangements on that place.
Yeah, that is what I'm seeing in those.
So I just
Have you seen the train guy in England?
Yes.
Who's the train guy in England?
Mike, what would you say? I'm guessing he's like maybe early 20s.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
He just loves trains.
All right.
So he goes to places and he knows some of the conductors and like he'll be like, oh, this is going to be like super special. This train's coming by. And the pure enjoyment in his face, because he has like, he films it. Then there's also a camera facing him.
It's a goofy angle too.
Oh, I know. And he's just so happy. And it's just an engine, but he's pumped.
So it's one of those things where like no one else cares, but we're so happy for you because you're so genuinely happy.
And then like they'll give him a honk or something, and I mean,
does he light up?
Oh, he loses it every time. I love that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and those trains have like names. Like this one is the Spirit of the Queen or whatever. You know, so they actually have those trains are named, and so I feel like there's periods where they're stowed away for a while, or maybe they're on the other side of the doggone country. But this is the moment that it's coming through his area, and so he's got to be there so that he sees it go through. And Ted's right. He is absolutely elated when these things run through. It's great.
Yes, I've seen one where he was just at a stop in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And he just waited like 6 hours to see this one train engine come by.
Going through.
So it doesn't stop for him. It just goes by.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they stop sometimes. Sometimes they just cruise by.
There's plane guys like that, too.
Oh, God, yeah. I met some of them.
Mm-hmm. Companies are using AI to monitor which websites their employees go on while they're at work.
It's just a cheaper version of doing what they'd already been doing anyway.
I hope they don't do that with us.
Basically, the headline that I read was like, your company probably knows that you're on this website right now. Like, no duh.
Yeah, they know. They keep a record of. They know who printed what to wear.
Right.
So even if you wanted to like print off this picture of a hot naked chick, well, they know.
Or euphemisms for.
Back when pre-COVID, when everyone was still in the building, some of our more questionable stories, it's all in the headline.
Sure.
Man severs own penis and beats wife to death with it or something. I'd make it a point to print that to one of the communal printers and then leave it there for like an hour. And one of my favorite moments, our boss, Jack, walks down the hall, real calm, a little stack of paper. Thrill, man. I just assumed these are yours. I was like, you assumed correctly.
You were correct, sir.
It's like, oh, yeah. I was reading the headlines. Like,
right.
I think I know where this goes.
So, yes, you employee that's looking up that on the internet, they know. And they know it's you.
And they've known forever.
They have.
You know what I mean? If you've been doing it for 5 years, they don't care that much.
Right. And that's the other part of it, is that they do know. And if they haven't said anything about it, they don't care. Keep putting the viruses on there. There's a yoga studio. There's a yoga studio in Montana that offers a clothing optional class.
I'm a little torn, man.
I mean, that's not that insane.
It's not based on what you're doing and all that.
Yeah.
I get it. I just feel like if you're going there, just like, I'm going to see some. In my very, very small sample size of people that want to get naked, they're not anyone who other people want to see naked.
Correct. And I will admit, when I've done yoga in my own home, I do tend to sweat quite a bit, so I try to get as much air through everything as I can. So I've gone down to basically the bare basics, not quite that far.
You haven't done it naked in your own house?
Not fully naked.
Come on, Mike, it's your home.
I have been in just the boxers, but just to let things air out a little bit. But then I imagine 100 me's in one room, fully nude. There's a lot of angles that I do not want to look at myself even. So it's like and
there's a lot of farting involved, right?
Oh God!
I mean, just based on right, you keep stretching the body out, so just naked farting.
Yeah, the downward dogs things start to breathe.
It's not a bad thing.
I get it.
Somebody in here. We've been asked several times about the origins of several of the phrases that have become staples on this show. The Ola Bicholas, For Aletha's Sake, Why Ted Knows Everybody Named James, and several others. But have you guys ever wondered about some of the other phrases that we use in everyday conversation?
You know me. I think about these things all the time.
Well, luckily, you could probably answer all these.
I don't know.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 expressions with origins you would have never guessed. Here's one that apparently has multiple meanings. Rub the wrong way. It means to bother or annoy someone. I can see how this would fit. As a budding young man trying to sow one's oats, it took on a much different meaning for me, and one that usually meant I went home frustrated. Historically, early Americans would ask their servants to rub the floorboards the right way so as not to leave streaks on the wood. Wood.
Thank you, VD. Thank you. So these are expressions with origins that you would have never guessed. We'll see if we can guess indeed. You guys have heard the expression to let one's hair down means to relax or to be at ease. Anybody know the origins of letting one's hair down?
Rapunzel.
No. I'm going to guess maybe back in the days of the powdered wigs and all that crap, because you're being formal. When you got home, you pull up that powdered wig and actually let your own hair down.
You're not too far off. The aristocratic women of medieval times were obliged to appear in elegant hairdos that were usually pulled up.
Okay.
The only time that they would let their hair down is when they came home and relaxed.
All right.
There you go. Go the whole 9 yards. This is always one of my favorites.
So the origins of
Wasn't this something with material or something like that?
Not material. Miles, any
I hope it's a football play for a touchdown.
No, but if it was football, it'd be 10 yards.
Correct.
Yeah, go the whole 9.
Yeah,
well,
right.
the first and 9. You know.
I'm going to say it's something to do with seafaring.
No, it is actually it goes back to World War II. The fighter pilots were equipped with 9 yards of ammunition. When they ran out of it, that they had tried their best to firing up a target with the entirety of their ammunition. I actually had heard that it was the big machine guns that they had there, and the guy feeding the ammunition in there had the 9 yards in there. So if you were just lighting somebody up, give them the whole 9 yards.
Okay,
and just let it go through.
That's like an earlier version of empty the clip.
Exactly. Giving the cold shoulder. I believe we've been over this one, Mr. Hell.
Was this a meat product or something to do with dinner, and either I did not like someone, or was it some royal person invited like another royal person? They did not necessarily like each other, so they gave him the cold version of the food.
You're dancing right around it. The first recorded use of the phrase dates back to the early 1800s. It refers to an old custom of giving an unwelcome guest. We don't like this person, a cold piece of meat from the shoulder of mutton, pork, beef chop, as opposed to a welcome guest.
I say if it's pig, it's delicious.
Basically, it was your way of saying, get out.
You're here. I will feed you. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that cold?
Oh, do you not like that? Okay.
I bet it was real cold back in the day.
You know it, dude.
Yeah.
This thing's been out back, been chewed on by the dog.
Yeah.
Take it from the dog. Give him the rest.
What are you going to get another disease? Like it's medieval times.
That's right.
We're all dying.
We got them all.
We all know the phrase bury the hatchet. Anybody know the origins of burying the hatchet?
I don't, but just imagine you're solving a problem. You want it to go away. So my violence says you're burying the hatchet in their skull, and it makes the problem go away. But I assume that's not it.
No, it's the other way around. After you've done the murder, be smart about it. Bury the hatchet.
Okay. Teamwork, bro.
Well, given that it means to stop a conflict and make peace, this one dates back to the early times in North America when Puritans were in conflict with the natives. When negotiating peace, the Native Americans would bury all their hatchets, knives, and clubs, and tomahawks, and weapons. They were literally buried all their weapons so that they were inaccessible.
I see. So it's like it's safe to come over here.
I bet you there were two they didn't know about.
That's right.
I mean, look, you don't know how this meeting's going to go, brother.
Bury the hatchet. That's singular.
The hatchet.
There's plenty more where that could tape, bro.
Right. There's one taped underneath the table.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Turning a blind eye. This one's great. We're going to like this guy.
That one I don't know. No idea.
This has to do with a patron of rum, our old buddy Admiral Nelson. The British naval hero Admiral Horatio Nelson had one blind eye. Once when the British forces signaled for him to stop attacking a fleet of Danish ships, he held up a telescope to this blind eye and said, I don't see a signal at all, and continued to attack nonetheless.
I do like it.
That's got a gangster.
You're darn right.
I didn't see the signal.
I don't see it.
My bad.
And I have to just give him the whole 9 yards, Mike. This action's not buried on this ship.
It's not happening. Cat got your tongue. This one's brutal. Again, these are expressions with origins that you would have never guessed. Anybody know the origins of cat got your tongue? It's bad.
Is it quite literal?
Is it like Roman stuff?
Or someone cut your tongue out of their mouth and then fed it to the cat?
So there's a handful of different places that it comes from.
There might be something wrong with us, Ed.
Wow, yeah.
We're burying hatchets, cutting out people's tongues.
Right. The English Navy used to use a whip called the cat o' nine tails for flogging. The pain was so severe that it caused the victim to stay quiet for a long amount of time. Another possible source could be from ancient Egypt, where liars and blasphemers, their tongues were cut out and fed to the cats.
Okay, so I'm more ancient Egypt.
There you go.
I'm just based on these.
You would do well in ancient Egypt.
That is good to know.
Mad as a Hatter. Anybody know the origins of Mad as a Hatter? It's basically you're completely crazy.
Something to do, I believe, was it the materials that people that made hats actually worked with had mercury or something, and they kind of went crazy? So not the person wearing the hat, but the people that made them. You're mad as a hatter.
You're absolutely correct.
All right.
Its origins date from the 17th and 18th century, well before Lewis Carroll's book was published. In 17th century France, poisoning occurred among hat makers who used mercury for the hat felt. The Mad Hatter disease was marked by shyness, irritability, and tremors that would make the person appear mad. You know, you're just a little shaky, that's all. To butter someone up. We all know that means to impress somebody with flattery.
I'm just guessing.
This was actually a customary religious act in ancient India. The devout would throw butterballs at statues of their gods to seek favor and forgiveness.
You think the gods are like, hey,
bro,
come up with something else?
Right. Now,
I guess back in the day, like, butter was, like, decadent. And
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
right,
give them butter.
You guys mind wiping that off real quick? Then I'll give you whatever you want.
Think about the bugs.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
What would you have, if you're a god, what would you have them throw at you?
Ooh.
Said to be like chicken wings.
I'd take that.
You got
$1
a chicken
bills?
wing? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But
they have to do it like that. It has to be a stack, and you do got to just throw them, make it rain on your god Ted. To break the ice means to break off a conflict or commence a friendship. Anybody know the origins of breaking the ice?
Ooh, I hope it's not someone floating on an iceberg. But.
I'm the guy, and I have no idea, but I guess back in the day, those massive ice cubes they pulled out.
Okay.
Maybe you and I are going to sit down for a drink, and so I'm chipping off a piece of ice, but your drink as well as mine.
I like it. Miles, you were a little bit closer there. Back when road transportation was not developed, ships would be the only transportation and means of trade. At times, the ships would get stuck during the winter because of ice formation. The receiving country would send small ships to break the ice to clear a way for the trade ships.
Okay. All right.
This gesture showed affiliation and understanding between two territories.
Also, we need that mead.
Yeah, you got the stuff we want. They got cocaine.
And
I mean, that's still kind of true, right?
What do you mean?
I don't know if
there's a harbor that's iced over. Like, it's not on the ships. Like, I would think the host country still has to.
They
be
do
like,
have the icebreakers.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. But then the final expression with an origin that you might not have ever guessed. Steve, I know you know this one, but bite the bullet. You guys know the origins of biting the bullet?
To like if you're having like surgery or something, you bite the bullet to kind of get rid of the pain.
That is exactly right. In the olden days, when doctors were short on anesthesia or time during a battle, they would ask the patient to bite down on a bullet to distract from the pain, which doesn't distract you, just keeps you from biting your tongue off. The first recorded use of the phrase was in 1891 in The Light That Failed.
I got to think back then being an anesthesiologist was a lot easier. What qualifies you? I got like 40 bullets here.
Some cocaine and a bottle of hooch.
Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day that was saying there wasn't as many, like, in the Civil War, it's always like, they didn't have any anesthesia. And, like, it's like, but I saw the special that was like, they had, forget what it was, but it would basically make those people insane. So that was a lot of the screaming. They couldn't feel anything. They're just losing their mind on what they were given.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Fun times. Authorities with Homeland Security stopped a shipment of rollerblades.
Why did they do that?
I'll give you all the details at 5:50.
Thanks, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, have we made it to drinking time?
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Wow, which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savoury, without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia Sweet Potato Fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops. When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Wow, which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked. High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Thrill-Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast the Lakewood Police Department of Lakewood, Colorado. Now, this past Thursday, they received reports of a burglary in progress. Officers descended on the property. This happened about 4 o'clock in the morning. And after using a drone to help track down the suspect, they found their man. Now, body cam footage shows the heavily armed officers bust open a door to reveal the suspect. In fact, we have some audio of the moments from the body cam video. Try to listen carefully if you can.
Michael, please, show me your hands. Hands up. Hands up. Stand up. Stand up.
Now, in case you missed it, the cops kicked down the bathroom door. You hear them saying, stand up, show us your hands, etc. And our man responds by simply saying, I'm on the Esser, bud. That's an actual quote. He was, in fact, sitting on the toilet, pants down around his ankles. He literally had just finished pooping when they kicked open the door. So that said, they were like, we don't care. Get up now. He did. He followed all the cops' instructions with a still crap-coated ass and his pants at his ankles. They didn't let him wipe. He even said, like, hey, man, can I just wipe? They're like, no, show us your hands. So he complied, stood up. Then they had to pixelate where his penis is obviously hanging out in front. Holds his hands up. He was arrested without incident and charged with second-degree burglary. The only argument that I made to Mike, I said, look, man, I know the cops are all jacked up at this moment and the adrenaline's high. But I said, look, I just want to wipe my ass. I get their position. No, you're going to jail. It's like, guys, remember one thing. You're putting me in the back of your patrol car. His ass going to get wiped one way or another.
Yeah, I'd let him wipe his butt.
I absolutely be like, okay, now that we've confirmed that he has no weapons, let this man wipe his butt, then we'll take him into custody. But I'm telling you, if you get a chance to see the video, it is awesome because it's real intense at the beginning. And when they kick down this door, it is just a guy sitting in a ratty bathroom pooping. Anyway, again, arrested without incident. Good job. Good job. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes this story a story. Hello, Jack. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up, guys?
Hola. All right, Jack, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. So you have your choice of one of three categories today. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did somebody find in their food? We have interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And today we offer you Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
I've never done the Bite Me, so I'm going to go there.
All right, here is your story. We go to Japan, where Domino's Pizza has released a public apology on its official X account after a video of one of their employees wiping his finger on pizza dough went viral. Now, it's not what was on his finger so much that has people upset. I'm sorry, it was, in fact, what was on his finger that has people upset. So in the post, Domino's officials apologized for, quote, any discomfort or inconvenience the disturbing video caused to our customers. The apology was released after a 15-second video showed a male employee placing his left index finger of his gloved hand somewhere and then proceeding to wipe it on the pizza dough. Now, footage of the prank went viral on X and other social media platforms, garnering criticism across the web because, well, frankly, it's gross. Now, according to Domino's, the video was filmed by a part-time employee at a store. I can't pronounce the city, so I'm not going to try. At about 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, the pizza dough in the footage, they say, was not used in any product. They're saying it was later thrown out. However, that cannot be confirmed, but that's their story, and they're sticking to it. Now, the pizza chain location suspended its operations on the same day and fired both the employee who dipped his finger somewhere in his body and wiped it on the pizza dough and the employee that filmed it. The question is, where did this guy stick his finger before wiping it on the pizza dough? Did he put it down the front of his pants? Did he put it down the back of his pants? Did he put it up his nose, or did he swab his mouth? So front of the pants for some berry action, back of the pants for some crevice action, up his nose for some booger action, or in his mouth for some everything action.
Well, that could be any one of them.
Yeah, I was like, none of them would make me any happier or angrier than the other.
Yeah. Did it give the kid's age?
It does not. Let me double check.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say...
I'm assuming he's young because, one, he did it knowing he's being taped, and two, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to go front of the pants.
Front of the pants for Jack.
I'll go back of the pants.
Back of the pants for Ted. Up the nose for Miles.
All right, so we got front, back, and nose.
That's it. Where did he wipe his finger before putting it on the dough? Was it the front of the pants, the back of the pants, up the nose, or swabbing the mouth? We're going to find out next.
That was a tease.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just 2 people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood.
Wow,
which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
This is a promotional message for Alexia Sweet Potato Fries, and in the process of elucidating you on all the wondrous virtues Alexia Sweet Potato Fries have to offer, I intend to do so in a prodigious manner befitting of such a superlative side. That's because all Alexia creations are creatively crafted, from sweet potato fries that accomplish a delicate balance of sweet and savory without GMOs or superfluous additives, to the eloquent lexicon of our advertisements, like this one, because every Alexia experience is intended to feel creatively crafted and exceptional without exception. Alexia's sweet potato fries. Do procure them in your grocer's freezer.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories Bite Me Out profile this week go to Japan. A Domino's Pizza chain had to apologize after employee was caught wiping his finger somewhere on his body and then pressing it down on the dough. This happened at 2 a.m. He has since been fired, blah, blah, blah. Question is, where did he stick his finger before he pressed it into the dough? The front of his pants, the back of his pants, up his nose, or did he swab his mouth?
And Jack, that is the very delicious question that we asked you. Let us start with D. Ted Smith. You went with the old back of the pants.
That seemed like the most natural.
It kind of does. However, not
sauce.
in this case. Not in this case. Jack, you went the front of the pants.
Yep.
No, it was not the front of the... Like I said, there is no good answer. There's just a right one. In this case, no, Miles, you are correct. He did, in fact, put it up his nose. And
Get a little boogie in there.
Well, I feel like it's right in the name. Domino's. It's not Domino's.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Domabutt.
Domino's.
I'm just trying. It's Domino's, right? So he's staying on point with the company.
Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got Weekend Update, Bill Maher, Seth Meyers, the Jimmies, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right there, the title. These guys have teams of talented writers helping come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Chemistry teacher in New Mexico brought swords to class and egged students on to duel, and what she said was a lesson on metal and metalline. Like working with metal.
Right.
And now that teacher and school are being sued because one student got seriously injured, and that's just another example of kids being soft these days.
Ted Smith. Bill Maher.
Smith.
Damn it.
New study claims Fremont, California is the happiest city in America, while the saddest city in America is once again Puppy Grave, Indiana.
Weekend update. SNL.
Yeah, that's SNL.
A new study claims Fremont, California is the happiest city in America, while the saddest city in America is once again Puppy Grave, Indiana.
Applebee's just reported that last quarter, their $1 margarita, the Dollarita, really helped drive the company's profits. The only thing that it didn't help drive the people who drank Dollaritas. Nothing says responsibility like cocktails that are cheaper than gum.
Bill Maher. Yeah, Bill Maher.
Fallon.
Applebee's just reported that last quarter their $1 margarita, the Dollarita, really helped drive the company's profits. Yeah, the only thing it didn't help drive the people who drank Dollaritas. I gotta call an Uber. Nothing says drink responsibly like selling cocktails that are cheaper than gum.
A new trend among parents is choosing baby names that sound cool as TikTok handles. Great news for baby trick shot COVID hoax.
Is that SNL? SNL.
That's SNL.
A new trend among parents is to choose baby names that sound cool as TikTok handles. Great news for little baby trick shot COVID hoax.
Did anybody in here watch Euphoria?
No. My wife watched it pretty religiously.
I have never seen Euphoria. I have not. Look. Jesus, getting tongue-tied even just bringing it up. I never saw it. Sydney Sweeney, who was a star of that show, now she's in a bunch of movies and this and that. She's a big Hollywood actress. I am not familiar with her work. I watched SNL. It just gracious.
Look,
it is shockingly how attractive that woman is.
My wife watched Euphoria, and I'm sure she was in it. I'm sure I saw her in the scene, but honest to God, like looking at her in SNL, it did not ring any bells. I know her name because I see her name in headlines, but again, I don't know if she was a singer, an actor. I had no idea. And much like you, which came out to do whatever you call it, the opening monologue. Like, don't care what she's saying.
Well, I'd seen the promo earlier in the week where they were talking about women power and stuff, and she's sitting there and her cleavage is hanging out. And she's like, actually, a lot of my fans are men. And I was like, very funny. But then I had not seen any of her work. Like, I'd seen her name a bunch. I was just like, God dang. The one where she's working at Hooters, I know. I don't even know why I'm blushing. The one where she's working at Hooters is just awesome. Talking about how there's a certain way to talk to customers and everything. But nobody else has her boobs or her looks, so it's just funny. And then I thought it was actually a pretty good episode of SNL. I would also recommend look up Bowen Yang is a pretty flamboyant, outspoken gay dude.
Yeah.
They had a whole skit where he's not actually gay. He just does it for ratings on Saturday Night Live. But as a straight dude and a bro, it just hit home. Just some of the ways he interacts with his buddies and stuff. Like, it's making fun of us. But I was like, oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. We do that. We do talk about women that way when they're not around.
Who is it? Neil Patrick Harris. It was funny, right? Gay guy, but he plays Barney, the ultimate womanizer. It was How I Met Your Mother? Yep. Okay. So they asked him about it. He goes, look, man, I live in a world of straight dudes. He's like, I just did what I see them do. It's like that. It's like when they see each other at work. He's like, there's just conversations they're going to have. You know, it's like, literally, I just imitated that. That is all.
Well, and then he also plays himself in the Harold and Kumar movies, and I think it was the Christmas special one. He basically, they show him out there, and he's in front of all the paparazzi with his husband, and they're getting their photos taken. And then as soon as they're behind closed doors, they immediately they're both actually straight. They just hate on one another. Right. Neil Patrick Harris is actually a hound. Like, it's
and that's what it was with him, which is funny. Right, because unfortunately, throughout history, there's a lot of famous actors who are gay, but it's not, they're going to lose roles, or it wasn't culturally acceptable at the time, so they would, have a wife, a beard. That's what you call a wife that you're not really married to kind of cover it up. So it was just, I'm sure if I went to more gay-centric comedy shows, I might have heard these jokes. That's the first time I really remember seeing a good skit of like the dude's like, no, I'm just faking gay for ratings. And I was just like, God, that was good. Saturday was a good one there. I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. It was one of the first things in the office today. I was all excited. Formula One, F1 was back. God, that race sucked. Like Red Bull, Max Verstappen. So it wasn't even close. He won by like 23 or 25 seconds before the next car was even there. It's just like, Jesus, man.
Would I be out of line if I called it F1? Because you'll say Formula One or F1. Can I mix them and it's F1? It sounds like I'm being
but
mean.
then you would sound like somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about.
That just spells fun, Thrill.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Or FU.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling people. Nah, bro, it smells fun.
Well, it was nice because the race started at 6:55. It's Saturday morning. I already had to get up to do something, so I'm like, this is awesome. I'll put this on. And then within, like I told you, I mean, seriously, within like 3 or 4 laps, you're just like, oh, nobody's going to get close to catch. Not his own teammate's going to catch him.
Yay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. But pretty interesting. Now, some sad news for the sports world. Chris Mortensen. If you're an NFL football fan, you would know him. I mean, Chris Mortensen to me is like the original NFL insider about roster moves and this and that.
Because back in the day, it was just broadcast. And then you're right. He was the first guy I can remember where he had some insight, the Adam Schefter kind of stuff that you hear now. He was the first guy that goes like, I actually know what's going on behind the scenes. And you go like, I'm interested.
Well, and Schefter even talks about that. Like, basically, he was already kind of doing it. But he's like, look, Mortensen got me, gave me, recommended me and, gave me the career I have now.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Just said, just ignore his ears. I'm telling you, this guy's good on the air.
It's just pretty wild. It's also kind of sad, right? Because
he wasn't that old.
Right, he was 72, right? Now, granted, when I say that, I've gotten older, but my mom's 80, so you're just like, man, 72. But he announced in 2016 that he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. I know that, look, if you know anything about cancer, stage 4 is not good.
That is not good.
So, he made it a few more years, which is great. He announced his retirement after the NFL draft last year, so he could focus on health, family, and faith. He joined ESPN in 91. Basically, the NFL.
That's a long run, man. They launched in the 80s, late 80s.
Right. And the NFL was still, just a sport, right? Like baseball is still the top dog back then. But between ESPN, Mortensen, a few other people, Peter, they basically, that's how we know the NFL now as Americans is a year-round sport. Mm-hmm. When you look you look at most other countries, you go to England, they talk about the Premier League all year round. Now, there's still massive domestic rugby league.
Sure. But Premier is the thing.
But the Premier League is the thing. Shout out to the Harlequins. He wrote for ESPN.com. He started out, as most of these people, as a writer. He also wrote for the Sporting News, Sport Magazine, NFL Today. He was on a bunch of stuff. He's he's at the Football Hall of Fame. I mean, he's just... And Mortensen, you kind of get the impression, almost kind of like Peter King we were talking about a couple weeks ago, where people like Chris Mortensen.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing I know.
As a human, sure.
Yeah. He did what he did professionally, but even more so when you read the tributes, it's more about just a good human being he was. And that was universal from everything I read.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's always nice to know that, that's what people missed. Your kids, your wife, the people you leave behind, what a great mentor you were to me. I mean, that kind of person is few and far between.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but right, somebody like Mort is just interested. He likes the subject and everything, and it's not. When you're right, Miles. When you hear that stuff, it's good, but that's not what he's trying to do. That's just the kind of person he was, right? Which especially in that industry, you're going to find a lot more people that try to portray that don't, and that's just entertainment, right? Whether it's film, TV, radio, whatever.
I already know when I die, the only response will be good.
John Oliver obviously does his show on the weekends. Miles, what's the big story when it gets cold in Florida?
Falling iguanas.
Yeah, iguanas.
Falling iguanas.
Floridians are watching for falling iguanas.
Once it's 50 degrees, remember, they want the warm stuff. They start to slow down. By 45, they're out.
No, the iguanas are not dead. It takes a long time in really, really cold air for that to happen. So if you do see an iguana on the ground, do not pick it up. Don't take it home with you.
You think they're not well. You pick them up, you put them in your car, you bring them to your home to warm them up and make sure they're okay. They wake up now when they thaw up and they're angry.
They fall out of the trees and then you're supposed to kill them because they're an invasive species. It's crazy to, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you're encouraged to kill them when they're stunned.
I'm not positive you're supposed to kill them.
Right?
I don't know if I've heard that one. That's not what I've heard, but also I would just assume, like, it's an iguana, not a lost puppy. So even though you want to do the right thing, why would you bring it home? What is your iguana revival skill set that you have? Because, look, even if you brought the thing back to life, my only question would be like, now what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't do it if I saw a dead squirrel. I'm not taking it home. And I'm like, oh, thank God it was only frozen.
And they're an invasive species, aren't they just in their natural habitat down there?
I thought they were.
Iguanas, I think, came over from, like...
Castro?
I think there's some in the Caribbean and in Mexico. But, yeah, they're... Like, I don't doubt that they're probably an invasive species to Florida. But I've never heard people just going out and hunt and, like, killing them, right?
No.
Like, you do that with, like, the wild hogs and stuff in Arkansas and everything because they've gotten so big as they're out there just breeding and breeding. And they're mean, too, right?
That is the big thing.
Yeah, well, wild hogs, too. No offense to the movie, Mike.
Sure.
But the other problem with wild hogs, and I'm not kidding around, is
Sandler.
like, that once they get kind of feral and they're out there just hooking up with each other and stuff, something happens. Like, I don't know if they're all somewhat related, but they get angry and they kind of get dumber.
And apparently you can't eat them.
They're not really tasty. So, like, you couldn't use them for practical applications.
Is that what's happening with the hippos, too, in Colombia?
No, the hippos, they just can't get them.
No, but I mean, as far as inbreeding goes.
Oh, yes.
You only started with a certain number, brother. It's not like they're flying in for Cancun. Like,
Right.
No. That is the issues with not Castro, Jesus.
My bad. Yeah. Escobar. I said Castro. That's my bad.
Yeah, I don't know about iguanas in Cuba, but, I went with it.
They smoke cigars, I know
But,
that.
like, with Escobar, right, those hippos got out that even when they contained them, they keep mating with each other. I'm going to say breeding.
Yeah.
Right, because now you know it's dumb and angry. But you're right, they shouldn't be, but they don't know any better. Well, they might. They're just like, screw it. We're the only 4 hippos here.
I don't think they know.
Well, that was part of the reason. I think hippos know. That was part of the reason they weren't too worried about them. If you watch that special, there's a bunch of specials on it. Is they were like, well, they're all related. Like, it's fine. And then it's like, no, it's not.
How does that make things better? And wait, you're arguing that you think they do know. Like, I just don't care.
The hippos?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm saying they don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we find out. I'm thinking they're just like, haven't seen you around.
Well, look, there's humans that have inbreeding.
Sure.
Right? And they know.
After a while, you just hang out together enough with no other influence that you just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay, but those hippos know.
They just have a
damn, sis, you're starting to look good.
Hey, it's cultural, man. We don't care.
Been a while.
A gray ass is a gray ass, brother.
Everybody knows Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Now he's on the board at TKO. That's the company that owns WWE. So basically, he got the rights back to his nickname, but he also got some of the catchphrases and stuff he used to use. Mike, you seem like the biggest wrestling fan in. I mean, me and
Talk
you know.
to me.
All right, could you guess some of them that he could use again?
Can you smell what the Rock's cooking?
Meth.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Right.
There was one I disagreed with.
I'm about to say the people's elbow.
Randy Poo, Candy Ass, the Brahma Bull,
Yeah, wait,
the People's
Candy
Champion, the Great One.
You're saying I couldn't say candy? Like, how do you have the rights to candy? I've heard people saying candy. Like, nobody wants
No. He got the rights back from WWE. So, like, he could go in the ring and say that. And in theory, he could show up at other events. But right now, he's still under contract that he can't.
Gotcha.
But right, we could say it.
I saw candy ass. I'm like, bro, you can't say candy ass.
Well, that's like the whole
How would
thing
I make fun
with-
of my neighbor?
With Ohio State, when people were like, "Oh, they're trying to," it was like the Ohio State, but like they weren't. You can't trademark the. What they were trying to trademark that no other university could say it.
Correct.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
The most electrifying man in sports and entertainment, and of course, jabroni.
Jabroni.
Which jabroni was a word, but feel like The Rock made it super popular.
No one else was really saying it much at the time.
Well, and he's full-scale heel right now in the WWE, and he's fun to listen to because he is still hot on that mic. He still's got the chops for it. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's probably only gotten better.
I mean, I will say, I don't watch wrestling right now. I don't know. I don't really care to see him go heel again because it's like, we obviously know who you are.
Sure.
But to his credit, I mean, he was always a heel. And I mean, I remember, this was way back in the day, we liked him. But like, you'd go to arenas, like, you weren't supposed to like him.
Right.
He just was that good, and people liked him that they started cheering for him.
There was one a couple weeks back that was chirping him while he was up there doing his monologue right there, right? Chirping him. He says, "Shut your bitch ass up, fatty, before I knock the herpes off your face."
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I also believe they didn't expect the bad reaction they got when he took Cody Rhodes' spot in WrestleMania or whatever's coming up.
Either that or it's a huge play, bigger than we could have known.
I know, but then that's the other thing, too, that annoys me with wrestling. People are like, no, they've had it played. It's like, shut up.
I know.
You can't do anything. They go, no, we've been playing it.
The script kind of accidentally wrote itself. Right. They realized what they stepped into.
So right. That's what I'm saying. I don't care for, like, it's cool. I'm just like, save it. You got part of the company. You made a mistake. And I get it. It's like, I'm just like,
Yeah. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in to navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
You've probably heard about generative artificial intelligence, but are you vigilant to its exploitability? Generative AI is shaping society and transforming our daily lives. While we want to embrace the potential, we must also set the standards for responsible use and safeguard the future of our digital world. HackerOne employs over 2 million plus ethical hackers, 750 of them specializing in prompt hacking and other AI security and testing. The creative approach taken by a diverse pool of ethical hackers is the best way to discover vulnerabilities. When launching new AI deployments, let HackerOne's AI red teaming address the novel challenges of AI safety and security for your business. AI innovation can only be effective if models are tested for safety and security issues that could cause harm. Make sure your AI models and deployments can't be tricked into providing information beyond their intended use, and that security flaws can't be exploited to access confidential data or systems with HackerOne. Learn more about our AI red teaming today at hackerone.com/AI.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out,
yada yada.
And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
If you've ever wondered if you can pull off cowboy boots, then you should pull on a pair of Tacovas. Comfortable right out of the box and available in dozens of timeless men's and women's styles. Their handcrafted boots are ready to put the world at your heels. When comfort leads, confidence follows. And Tacovas delivers both right to your door. Visit Tacovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. And don't go gently. You'll love where you're headed.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Well, maybe on second thought, rollerblading might be fun to take up once again. Yeah. To Texas, where having a happy hour at a retirement home is apparently a sin. A drunk couple causes a United flight to be diverted to Maine. Police bust in to arrest a man while duking and draining the fade. And TikTokers record themselves breaking and entering into a brand new arena. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
Top story, we head to Wisconsin, where an operation has been busted. Homeland Security stopped a shipment that they found coming from Bogota, Colombia, for reasons unknown.
What could it be?
They inspected the shipment to find rollerblades inside and found reason enough to send them in for testing, mainly because you're ordering rollerblades from Bogota, Colombia.
That's the first giveaway.
To Wisconsin. Turns out that the wheels of the blades were made using a gelatin-like substance that was infused with, you'll never guess it, Joy Flakes, Racehorse Charlie, Colombian Bam Bam, also known as cocaine.
Okay, that's the stuff you call it, Mike.
That's right.
Where's my Colombian Bam Bam?
That's right. When I'm walking the streets, they know.
I need me some Colombian Bam
Anybody
Bam.
got that racehorse, Charlie?
That's right before he tips over a trash can and yells at passing traffic.
They sealed the box back up and allowed it to be delivered to its destination, where they conducted a search of the home and found thousands of dollars worth of the drug, as well as forged documents and an entire trafficking scheme. The investigation is ongoing.
You know what they should have done? They should have laced up the rollerblades and started rollerblading. Because then the authorities are like, does this dumbass not actually know he's rolling on coke?
Right. The story got disappointing because they said that it was cocaine-infused wheels of the blades, right? And so I thought that some
That's
idiot...
a giveaway.
I just thought some dumbass rolled some rollerblades over some that dropped on the floor.
Over cocaine?
Some that dropped on the floor or something like that, and then it got stuck to the tire to the point where you're like, what's that? Then I read it's like, no, they actually infused it in the doggone wheels.
Yeah, the wheels themselves.
Mm-hmm. And then you sent it to Wisconsin.
From Bogota, Colombia.
Right, directly from Bogota.
Like, say, guys, man, send it to like 2 other places first.
Right.
Please. My God.
Criminy.
Like I said, if you
Keep
order
it on
a
the same...
Christmas card from Bogota, Colombia, they're going to check it.
Right.
They are, but I mean, that's ingenious. They got to get it out of there.
No,
They do.
This is my point, Ted.
Let's send it to Venezuela.
I love their idea. I love that that's how they're trafficking coke. I apologize to the DEA for this, but I do because it's ingenious. To me, the giveaway, you went through all this trouble. You figured out how to infuse rollerblade wheels with cocaine, but not one person said, maybe don't have Bogota, Colombia as a return address.
Right. Send it to another country there within the continent before then you send it up to the States.
Now, I want at least 2. At least 2 different places.
If it comes from Uruguay, you're not looking for cocaine.
You're still looking for cocaine.
Yeah, like you got to send it eventually.
Chile.
Look, I watch To Catch a Smuggler and these shows all the time. Like, you can send it to any other country you want. When it gets to the States, they're gonna go, its source was Colombia. So I mean, at some point, you gotta you lived in Colombia, you produced a product, you gotta send it out of Colombia.
Send it to Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean, trust me. I mean, that's the reason that the Mexican cartels now run the cocaine industry, is because everybody stops everything.
Right.
Whereas the Mexican mafia and stuff they were like, well, look, we can get it through.
We can filter it through.
We'll try to get it through the border here for you.
To that note, my wife and I,
That's smarter than sending it to Wisconsin.
Probably like 10 or 12 years ago, we bought some little sculptural piece, maybe a foot tall, 8 inches wide, whatever. We bought it in Mexico. We did not give it another thought. When we landed in the States, we had a note to them.
Oh, yeah.
They basically laser cut this bitch open, and they glued it back so you could barely... We would not have noticed a small crack in it if they didn't tell us, which actually pissed me off. But
I appreciate it.
They were looking for coke.
You bet.
Yeah. And I'm just like, well, listen, fella, I didn't buy it for that reason, but if you found it, can I keep it? I mean, I did buy the sculpture. I'm just throwing it out there.
I inadvertently.
Yeah.
In other news, down to L.A., where a new stadium has been broken into. The Clippers are getting themselves a new home in Los Angeles by way of the...
That's what happens when you win, by the way.
Yeah. The Intuit Dome, a brand new $1 billion facility for the team. Authorities were recently alerted to the fact that a pair of teenagers had managed to sneak into the building, wreaking havoc while inside. The two scaled the construction fences and let themselves into the dome, taking advantage of the open hoops to take a few free throw shots, walk about the building, and even onto the roof of the dome to take in the views. At one point, while attempting trick shots, one of the two unloaded a fire extinguisher on the net following an impressive shot. Luckily for authorities, they've got perfect descriptions of the teenagers and the extent of their intrusion because they uploaded a full video of their shenanigans on TikTok. They tagged the Clippers account.
Guys, part of the fun of committing crime is when people don't
Getting
know.
away with it?
Well, it's called the Intuit Dome. They broke into it. Maybe they misunderstood what it's about. All right, they invited us in.
They got into it.
You know what's funny? Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Right, like he sold, I think he still owns part of the Mavericks, but he sold like the bulk of it.
All right.
So he's not the controlling owner anymore. And somebody asked him what he's going to miss the most. He was like shooting shots in the arena. Nice. And I didn't realize that was like one of his things. He would just go in there and shoot hoops.
And because he sold just enough, he can't just
right,
do it?
because he's not the prime owner now. He can't just have access to go in and out of the arena.
Tough cookies. To Fort Worth, where this show has found their retirement home. For the last year, a local retirement home has been hosting a happy hour for the residents. Offering them cocktails mixed with rum, vodka, or whiskey with a mixer of their choice. At the latest happy hour, one of the residents ordered a double shot in their drink. I wonder who in here would do that, but was denied such service by the employee.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, this angered the resident, who resorted to throwing the drink he had on the employee and then began to assault her. Worth noting, she was pregnant at the time.
Come on, man.
The resident then removed one of his shoes and used it as a weapon of battery against others that attempted to quash the incident. Eventually, he was brought to the hospital for evaluation, and the nursing home is under investigation for the parties.
I do feel like if your weapon of choice is a shoe, I'll be all right.
Yeah. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Clown.
Yeah, or like you've never seen, was it Austin Powers? Didn't one guy throw a shoe?
Yeah.
Might have.
Thankfully, there's good news.
We head over to the UK, where that situation was solved thanks to a TV legend. She was using a bathroom at a medieval tower when she heard the door lock behind her, trapping her in the windowless bathroom. Assessing her situation, she knew that there wouldn't be anybody to free her from her laboratorial prison for several days. Knowing she had to find a way out on her own and channeling the genius of TV legend MacGyver, she managed to pick the lock of the door using cotton swabs and a makeup pencil.
Damn!
She
Okay.
eventually freed herself after about 7 hours inside of the bathroom.
Okay.
Ingenuity right there. Men's Room Sports. You've got college hoops on ESPN, UN Plus, NBA basketball on the NBA Network, and the Trailblazers are in Minnesota to take against the Timberwolves, and you can catch that on Root Sports Plus. And your Seattle Kraken are back in action in Calgary, taking on the Flames. Puck drops at 6:30 over on Root. As far as your weather, you're looking at rain for the rest of the night, dipping into the mid-30s, but have no fear. We're looking at clear skies and temperatures into the mid-40s tomorrow, and possibly for the rest of the week.
All
and
right.
that is it for your headlines.
Okay.
With that, Mike Hawkins.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time for the return of Sit and Spin. Kevin Deers is up next.
Yes, indeed, it is all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. Drink Men's Room IPA. And until, and also please, for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
My 13-year-old acts like a puppy again. Almost overnight, she's a different dog.
Perfect poops.
When people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's simply real meat and vegetables with all the nutrients dogs need, instead of highly processed pellets. No tricks, just smarter, healthier pet food delivered in packs portioned for your dog. It's amazing what real food can do. Get 50% off your first order at thefarmersdog.com/no-magic.
Listening to your favorite podcast? That's smart. Earning your degree online from Southern New Hampshire University? That's really smart. With 24/7 access to coursework, no set class times, and dedicated student support, you can go to school when and where it works for you. Low online tuition means you can even do it for less. And dedicated student support means we'll be with you from day one to graduation and beyond. Join a community of learners just like you. Go to snhu.edu today to start your free application.
From executive producer Jimmy Kimmel.
What's up, team? Just two people can't launch a brand. It takes a village.
We are MMD Hollywood. Which stands for medical marijuana.
Due to restrictions, we can't tell you everything about our new reality series. But what we can say is the idea behind it is fully baked.
I don't know.
High Hopes. Streaming 4/20 on Hulu.
Reaching your financial goals is so much easier with Millibank. With our customizable jars, put your money directly toward your savings goals, keeping them in sight and on track. Plus, with our highly competitive annual percentage yield and no fees or minimums, your money will grow faster with complete transparency. So whether it's a much-needed vacation, a passion project, or building an emergency fund, save more for the things that matter most with Millibank. Get started by visiting Millie.bank or download the Millie app today.